Good morning, everybody. How you doing? It's Tuesday already. Well, is it really? Yes, it is Tuesday, September the 14th, 2021. It's your Uncle Bruce here, Stock Markets with Bruce from Calgary, Alberta,
Yes, it is Tuesday,
in
September the
Canada.
14th,
Welcome, one,
2020.
welcome all to today's show, where we try to explain to you folks what's happening in the stock markets in plain English. And some days are easier than others. I'm just waiting right now for the so called inflation data report to be released. We should be hearing the latest estimates on what kind of inflation numbers are going on. And I'm not sure if there's much to be excited about. I personally am of the opinion that whatever inflation is showing up right now is really what we call, the word is transitory. And now, in plain English, what does that mean? Temporary, transitional, where the economy is going from a dead stop to a restart, and there are glitches in the system here and there. Plus the odd hurricane kind of thrown into the mix for those of us who follow hurricanes and weather systems in, say, the Gulf of Mexico, or right now in Houston. There's a transitory thing happening in the Houston Dallas area. It's called a tropical storm, which is transiting a bunch of rain from the sky onto the ground faster than the ground can absorb it. That's a transitory issue, temporary. It's just a temporary flood. Don't worry, Mr. Jones. Your house is flooded, but only temporarily. You'll be fine in a couple hours. Oh, that mold down there, you can scrub that off yourself. Don't worry about that. And don't call the insurance company. They're not going to cover that. Here we go. 12-month increase in CPI slips to 5.3 from 5.4%. So the transitory inflation rate is down 1/10 of a percentage point as opposed to what it was uh, last month, I guess. Nothing burger. I tell you, it is amazing to me. It's just amazing to me how desperate certain people are. I guess I'm not sure. I'm not sure who to blame this on. I'm not trying to blame anybody. Actually, I don't like blaming people, but it amazes me how much data is desperately needed by market observers, so they can talk about the markets and data in the markets when there's nothing to talk about. Like for this morning, like I'm looking at my big S iPad here, and I've got Market Watch on here, so it's showing me the pre-markets, and right now the Dow is showing down 27 points. Who cares? A $34,700 index is off 27 points in the pre-market. I mean, 8/100ths of a percentage point. This is how meaningless these numbers are at the moment. There is nothing going on of a negative nature, and yet there are um, market commentators out there desperate for anything that they can put their hook into to kind of you know jump on and keep you engaged, because the reality of the scenario, I guess, and I guess I'm guilty of it too in a way, is that we all need eyeballs on whatever it is we talk about. And the more eyeballs we get, the more ad revenue there is, I suppose. There are television stations out there who, will say to you, don't go away, we'll be right back, with all kinds of, well, they're trying to get you to hang around. This has been a trick since the 50s. This has been a trick since the 30s on radio. Right after this message, we're going to tell you who murdered Mrs. Huxtable or whatever. The murder mystery will be solved after this commercial message. Today, it's on the stock market channels. It's stick around. We'll have the inflation report right after this message. It could be mind-numbingly unbelievable into your future. It isn't. It's not going to be. Never will. Never has. Can't be. Won't make a damn bit of difference. But it is the nature of the beast. So there you go. So inflation doesn't seem to be much of an issue right at the moment. Month over month, it looks like things have kind of calmed down a bit. So there you go. The Dow's now down 24 points. It's 3 points better. Yay. S&P down 2.9, NASDAQ down 25, and oil is up 24 cents a barrel right now. Heard this morning, or read this morning, that the what's this called? The International Energy Agency. I don't know who hires these guys. How do you get this job? How do you get a job from the International Energy Agency? Sounds like a juicy little deal. Um, they're basically saying that oil is oil isn't going up in price. So they don't think because there's too much of it, and the demand for oil has been what they call tapered. There's less demand for oil right now because of the variants. This virus thing that some people call a conspiracy theory. The virus variant thing, the demand for crude is lessened, has been lessened because of the variants of the virus. So um, um, there are those who were yesterday claiming that oil was going to go to $100 a barrel for this winter. If it's a cold winter, we're going to go to $100 a barrel, trying to scare the oil market up to anything. To me, I think that this could be paid professionals that are being paid by the oil industry to hype up anything to get oil up, because the higher oil goes, the bigger the profits. Uh, how much of it are you going to use? Are you guys going to all go out and buy 8-cylinder V8 engine cars and trucks and burn oil like there's no tomorrow? I have to admit, when Jennifer and I drove our rental truck, the U-Haul truck, from Creston to Calgary, I felt guilty. I really did. I felt guilty. I put $50 of gas in the truck when I got it. I think it was $50 worth the first kind of go around, just to sort of top up the tank a bit, because I had 3/8 of a tank. Maybe I put in 75 to start. Anyway, it put it up to 5/8. And then later on, I put another $50 in, and then another 50. I think I put in just short of $200 of the fuel into this thing, and I felt guilty burning it. I really did. I felt guilty putting in that much gasoline into this tank, this gigantic tank on the side of the truck, um, burning it off. And then on the other hand, I was marveling at modern technology today, 2021. Here I am renting a truck uh, from a company to move my crap, my stuff, 6 hours by a 6 hour drive from one place to another. And I had all I had to do is pour this fuel into this tank and turn the key, and it would take me there. It's just unbelievable. Of course, this isn't new technology. It's been around since the early 1900s. 1940, you could have done the same thing. Maybe not as nice a truck and not as comfortable a ride. Certainly not the same highway system, but it's just amazing to me that the entire distance from little old Creston, British Columbia to Calgary, Alberta, in Canada, I had radio coverage the whole time. I could listen to radio all the time instead of no single. Um, I had air conditioning if I needed it, cruise control at my beck and call. Uh, could stop every 15 minutes if I needed to for a bathroom break or get a cola or bite to eat. I mean, services along the road, cell phone service the whole way through. I mean, what a world! Incredible. I mean, we're talking about the Western world problems. I got Western world problem. Amazing. Yet I still felt guilty burning this fuel to make this move, because I thought, well, all that emissions into the sky. I'm going through some of the most pristine mountains in the world here in the Rockies in Western Canada, and I got to a truck stop in a place called Nanton, Alberta, about an hour south of Calgary. That was kind of our last stop, and there were 50 uh, trucks all around me that were being driven by professional drivers, moving every kind of item you can imagine. And I'm thinking to myself, you think you're burning fuel? Look at these guys. I mean, these guys have 300-gallon tank capacity diesel, and they're burning this stuff 24/7. And there are millions of these things on the road. I mean, millions and millions of them everywhere in all of North America and the world. And we're just putting this stuff into the air, just into the air, into the air. It's an invisible. I marvel when I go into a grocery store. The older I get, I marvel, because I appreciate the fact that if you walk into a grocery store and it has 7,000 different items in it, 7,000 different items in a grocery store, I think about how it got there. How did you get like if you're making muffins, you make your batter and then you pour the batter into a little paper muffin holder, and then you put that into a muffin pan and into the oven. That little paper thing, that those little muffin cups, whatever they're called, they're manufactured somewhere from raw materials, which have to be brought to a location, has to be produced, packaged, distributed, redistributed, and redistributed, and ultimately brought onto a shelf in the grocery store. And you can buy a little box of these things of, I don't know, 50 of them, 100 of them, whatever, these cupcake holders. And what is it, pennies a box? It's not $5 a box. Amazing. I'm just looking at it going, how can you do that? The amount of labor that was required to get this one little item that takes up this much space on a shelf in a grocery store. How much labor and imagination and marketing and logistics to get this here so that I can just pick it up and put it in my cart and then go through the high-end checkout systems that grocery stores have, which most of us have no idea how this works. So sophisticated that it tracks everything we do. And then we bring it home and we use it to make a cupcake. We eat it and we throw it away. It's I just wonder how much fuel was used, how much oil was used, how much brain power was used for this one throwaway item that is one of 7,000 in a grocery store. It's mind blowing to me. Just the world is when you get older, you've been around a while, you've done a few things in your life, you've seen a few things in life, you've had a few birthdays, and certain things start to kind of affect you, and you go, "Wow, this really is amazing. This really is." These didn't exist in 1900, but they exist now, and they're available. They're available everywhere. I can find these little cupcake holders in every grocery store, for every competing grocery store against the other grocery store. I mean, Safeway and Albertsons and IGA, and you name all the grocery outfits. Find this everywhere. It's amazing. Just anyway, maybe I'm being wowed by too many simple things. I'm losing it. I don't know. Today's show, I was desperately looking for a title for today's show, and I was wondering what should I call today's show. And I thought, I had a question yesterday um, that I thought of this morning, and I get this question about a couple of times a week. I get this question from viewers, and the question is basically, do you still think that GameStop can go to $1,000 a share? And that question sometimes is adjusted. Where people say, do you think it can go to 2,000 a share? Do you think it can go to 1 million a share? A very high number for the stock of GameStop. Do you still think it can reach? And how will it happen? And why would it happen? And when is it going to happen? And I mean, obviously, you start going down that rabbit hole, and there's no end to it. Pardon me one sec. Having some leakage here. Anyway, I thought today I would try to address this question in my morning rant, because I'm allowed to talk about whatever I want to talk about. So I just hope you enjoy it. Why would GameStop go to 1,000 a share? And then I looked at it this morning, and I noticed that GameStop is trading at $203 a share right now on the pre-market. It's $203 a share. Here it is right here, down 40 cents right there. There it is, $203 a share. It's down 40 cents in the pre-market. And for it to go to 1,000, it has to go up by a factor of 5. And I thought, well, I made my first video about GameStop in June 2020. I think it was. A year ago, June. That's when I first made my very first ever video about GameStop. The stock was $4.80 at that time, and it was trading between $4 and $6. A very uneventful stock. Nobody talked about it. No one gave it a second thought. Had been a non-factor stock for years. Had once been in the $30 to $50 range 4 or 5 years earlier, but nothing had happened to it. It just kind of got weaker and weaker, and it got quieter and quieter and quieter. Let me just take a peek at something here. Do I have it here? Yeah, I do. Here's the stock right here. This is from 2010 to 15 to 20. And you can see how on the far, I guess the far left, the stock was kind of in between, say, 15 to 30 there for quite a number of years, and then it reached up to that, broke 45 and almost got to 60. It was obviously in the 50s for a short period of time, but backed off again into the between 30 and $45 through, let's call it 13, 14, 15, 16. But by 2017, it kind of could barely hang on to the $30 range. And certainly after 2017 and 18 and 19 and 20, look at go down, 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 down until it reached, at the end of this chart, you see it at $4.14. That's a history of the GameStop shares before I even made that video. And then this chart here shows you the short interest of the stock versus the float. And over the years, you can see from 2004, 5, 6, it's always a percentage, but for a while there, in say 2005 and 6 and 7, it looks like it was between 20 and 40%, if not right around 40%. Short interest. Then it backed off in 08, back to almost zero. Up to 2010, it began to climb again. In 2012, it climbed back over the 40% mark. Then it dropped again under 20% by 2014. And then 15, 16, went back again over 40%, back to 20. And then finally in 2018 and then 19, look at that, straight up. 2020, 100%, and 2021, 140% short interest, and that's what caught my interest. That's what got me interested in GameStop. The short interest. This guy right here, Mr. Cohen, he came into the picture. I think it was around November, December of 20. That's when I began to notice this gentleman's name show up, and I began to look into him a little bit and realize the Chewy connection, and how he had created that company, sold that company, and what he had done. How he had created the business with business partners and turned it into an e-commerce machine for pet food and supplies. Way to go! Now he's the largest shareholder of GameStop. And so I started watching GameStop at $4.80 back in the summer of 2020. After I made the video, within a month of the video being out, I think I had 1,000 views of the video. 1,000 views. A nothing burger. And then I had done a second video and the Cohen factor. I started doing that video. And then by December, January, the market was moving. It started to move and it started to trade more actively. And that's what tipped me off that, something's up. This short squeeze might actually be happening. There is some kind of a short squeeze here because with 140% of the stock shorted that you can possibly trade. How can there not be a short squeeze? But it took a while for that to take effect. It took a while to kind of click. And it really took Wall Street Bets and the folks at Reddit and other online chat groups and so on. That's what did it. And of course, the shares went from this 480 level that I covered it at to almost 500 a share. I know in the aftermarket one day I think it touched 500, but it really hit the 400 level, something like that in the actual market during market hours. Still, it's a 100-time increase in value. I know that in December it reached $15 to $20, and it from 20 to 400 is 20 times your money. A lot of you joined me once the shares had done their big move and came back down again, and then they took another move. They went from 38.50 back up to the 300 something level again. I mean, we have seen 5 to 10 times movements on this stock in the past. Now, today at $203 a share, to go to 1,000 a share, it only has to go up fivefold. It only has to go up 500%. Easily said than done, because when you take a $203 stock and trying to make it a $1,000 stock, you're talking about an $800 increase in value, whereas from 480 to 400 is only a $392 or $396 move in dollars. So this stock needs to move double that. It needs to move, not move $396. It needs to move $800 to go to 1,000. So what it has to do now in dollars is double what it's ever done in its existence ever. And to get from $4.80 to reach that $500 level when it did that, the shares were trading 190 million shares a day turnover. And it's one thing to trade 190 million shares at $15, $20, $30 a share. It's another to trade 190 million shares at 200, 300, 500 a share and higher. I mean, now you were talking about 100 times the dollars. The exponential numbers are just mind-numbing. So the reality is, if the shares go from 200 to 300, might only be a 50% run, might only be $100 a share run, but the amount of money that has to turn over between buyer and seller to create a move from 200 to 300 is billions and billions and billions of dollars of turnover. I mean, you've got to generate 10 billion, 20 billion of buying interest into the company's stock to offset the day trading turnover that's going to happen and the inevitable sellers who are going to take some profits on the way up and so on. I mean, this is just human nature. This is how markets work. What is going to create this? What is going to bring in $50 billion of buying interest into GameStop, $100 billion into GameStop? Why would the market want to buy that kind of quantity of GameStop in a hurry? Because remember, you attract $2 billion a week of buying interest into a stock. Great story, great upside, blah, blah, blah. $2 billion a week is $100 billion a year. That might just maintain a market. That might keep a market between $200 and $300 a share, $200 to $250 a share. I don't know. But if you want to move a market by 50%, 100%, 200%, 500%, you're going to have to bring in $100 billion in a week, not in a year. You're going to have to bring in a concentrated buy wave. A tsunami of buying interest has got to come in a real hurry to offset the potential sales of stock and turn over the shareholder ownership from one group to a dominant new group that is expecting the stock to go much higher. The other thing too is, if everybody thinks the stock can go to 1,000, why would anyone buy it at 900 to get it to 1,000? You'd stop buying at like 300. You know, if you think it's going to 1,000, you'll buy it at 200. You buy it at 220 through 260, 280. You'll pay 300. Why would you pay more than 300 if you think it's going to 1,000? Because what's in it for you now? You're supposedly taking a risk when you buy anything, and if you're buying a stock that just went from 200 to 300 in a couple of days, you're now paying 50% more than what people were paying a week ago for a stock. What's your upside? Triple? That's all you're going to make now is triple your money. It's going to go from 300 to 900, $1,000. Why would anyone pay 450 for it? Why would anyone pay 550 for it? Anyone paying 500 a share for GameStop would have to be thinking it's going to go to 2,000 a share or 5,000 a share, because the greed factor has got to be there. You've got to motivate buyers with an upside story that they can really sink their teeth into. That they'll go, oh yeah, I'll pay 500 a share. I know it was trading at 200 a share, back in September the 14th when Bruce did his rant that morning. It was trading at 203 on the pre-market. But I'm prepared to pay 500 a share a week later, because what's happened in the last 5 trading days since Bruce did his rant has convinced me that this stock can go to $5,000 a share. And I'm more than happy to pay 500 thinking it'll go to 5,000 in a week or two, because it's the mother of all short squeezes, you see. I don't know where this is coming. I don't know how this will happen. Now, I can remember back in December, January, February, when the shares went from originally the 5 range to the 10 range to the 12 to 14 range. They got to the 18 range, backed off. They came back. They backed off. They didn't go from like 4, 8, the 12, the 20. No, the shares fluctuated, up and down. And every day in and day out, people were asking, how much higher can it go? It's already at 1250. How much higher can it go? It hasn't been 1250 since 2017. Um, and there were people that said, oh, it's going to 50, it's going to 40, it's going to 60, it's going to 70. Some were saying it's going to 1,000. Um, so the greed factor was always there. And to take a stock from, like I said before, to go from $20 a share to 40 share, or 8 a share to 40 a share, which is 5 times your money. That's one matter, and it requires millions of dollars of buying, millions, but not billions of dollars of buying. When GameStop did break 100 a share and went to 200 a share, and when it was trading in billions of dollars a day, because the market as a whole became enamored with this crazy story about this GameStop stock, and the old comparison between Blockbuster and GameStop and Radio Shack, and the old brick and mortar demise versus the new. Um, the one thing that I find interesting about Blockbuster, just to kind of bring up that name, is the name Blockbuster. I think makes most people smile when they hear about the name Blockbuster. There's a video out. There's a show out. I think it's on Prime or on Netflix. I can't remember. You can watch a video about the last standing Blockbuster store in America, which I believe is in Oregon now. I'm not sure if it's Grant Falls or where it exactly is in Grant Falls in Oregon. It's the last GameStop store in America, and there are people who actually are traveling to it to see it. They're taking their children there. People in their 40s are doing a sort of a West Coast holiday, and they make a point of stopping in this town where this Blockbuster is to take their children into this store to show them. There used to be one of these in every town. Like every city in America had one of these. Large cities in America had 12 of these. And it was a ritual for these 35 and 45-year-old parents. Are talking about how 30 years ago, it was a ritual that their mom and dad would take them in the car, in the van, in the minivan, to a Blockbuster every Friday after school, and you would pick your movies for the weekend. And then on Sunday night, Dad would have to schlep back to the Blockbuster after the football games are over. NFL, the wife would say to Dad, "You got to take back the movies." And Dad, oh geez, that's right. And he'd gather up all the DVDs or the cassettes, wherever they were, the VHS tapes, and put them in the box, and then schlep them back to the Blockbuster. And of course, Blockbuster got wise. They started developing drive-through drop-offs where they had this little driveway, and they had a mailbox with a long tongue on it, and you could just shove your DVDs in this thing, not even get out of the minivan or the car, and just drop them off. You were in the car, you had to reach up like this to get them in. If you're in a minivan, they were right here, and you drop them off Sunday night, not to get late charges on your account. But we think about Blockbuster and we smile because those of us who are older, we smile because we remember the evolution of the world in our youth, how there was no such thing as a VCR. There was no such thing as a DVD player. CDs hadn't been invented yet, or certainly weren't commercially available. Cassette tapes were, a revolution in the 60s and the 70s. But VCRs and renting a movie at a video place was a novelty in the 70s and the 80s. It took off and so on. So when the GameStop story came out and the company got compared to the demise of Blockbuster, there are a certain number of investors out there who said, "Not on my watch. This is not going to happen. I witnessed Blockbuster disappear in front of my eyes." And the reason Blockbuster disappeared in front of our eyes wasn't because we stopped renting DVDs or CDs. It was company mismanagement that really sped it all up. Blockbuster could have survived another 10 years had they been properly managed and run. But they were gobbled up by greedy, flipping type mentality hedge funds that thought they could scoop a company up for cheap and then regurgitate it, make a quick buck, and flip it to somebody else. They weren't interested in the business long term. They were interested in short term hit. Well, they're the ones who got taken to the cleaners. The guy that ultimately bought the entire company and built it to the largest size it could be was a gentleman that ultimately owned a MLB franchise and a number of other things. He sold off at top dollar. After that, every owner after that lost money because there were no entrepreneurs running the company anymore. They were just investors running the company. And there's the difference between one group and another. And this is where GameStop now has changed. GameStop used to be run by people who were appointed to the board of GameStop or given the CEO positions by investment groups. Then Ryan Cohen came in and bought 13% of the company from about $5 a share to about $16 a share, with an average of about $9 a share to get 13% of the company. And this guy is an investor. He is not a hedge fund. He is not representing a bunch of pension funds and mutual funds as an administrator. He is an individual, an entrepreneur who created Chewy and now has taken on GameStop. And for the low price of $76 million, ends up as the single largest shareholder of the company. And theoretically, had he not made a deal with the company, had he not made a deal with Ed Sherman and the other guys, he probably could have kept buying up the stock and got himself to 25% at one point. He could have declared to the street that he's an investor and he's buying it as an investment, and could have just kept gobbling up the paper. But he stopped at 13% because at that point in time, he was the single largest individual shareholder. And the board of directors immediately invited him onto the board with two of his associates from Chewy. And within 6 months, here we are. Here we go today, September 2021. He's the chairman of the board. He's got there's 5 or 6 directors, all they're all his people. The senior management of the company are all directed by Mr. Cohen and his associates. They're all handpicked. This entire corporation is now in his control. So the company, GameStop, is now run by a dominant person, like Tesla is run by Elon Musk. Apple was eventually run by Steve Jobs, although he left and came back. But he didn't own 80% of the company or anything like that. Steve was now in charge of a machine that he turned around, saved, and did well with. Over at Facebook, Mr. Zuckerberg still has a dominant position in stock. At Amazon, Mr. Bezos is your number one guy. He's got a bunch of stock. So here we have GameStop in its own little unique situation, dominated by an entrepreneur. That could make the stock go to $1,000 a share. I'm getting around to the answer of the question. Can the stock reach $1,000 a share? Why and how would it happen? It can't happen if the company is run by mutual funds or hedge funds or investment groups. No way. But it can happen if it's run and dominated by an entrepreneur. And it is. The company is dominated by one individual. This gentleman can take this company and lead it to where he wants it to go. He has the votes, he has the stock, he's got the employees, he's got the board of directors, he's in charge. And he's got about I'd say he's got about a 3-year window, three to 4 year window. Yeah, and this is year one. Hasn't even, it barely, it'll be a year that he started buying up the stock, I guess, shortly. So there's one thing that's working for the stock's potential to go to $1,000 a share. The other thing, though, that has to take it to $1,000 a share is that the company has to do something that nobody else can do. It has to do something entrepreneurially that others don't do. And because it's dominated by an entrepreneur, the company can change direction rather quickly. It can move into a certain area of business if it wishes to. If the entrepreneur who runs this company decides, I want this company to go this direction, it will go that direction. He doesn't have to go to a bunch of policy sessions and and focus groups or anything like that. He can just make the call and tell his board of directors, have little one-on-one sessions with his key people, advisors, and then he can direct the CEO, and away we go. And the company can move into another direction, whether it's a takeover of another company, a merger with another company, or two or three or five companies, whatever it is, can be done. The company needs to raise money. The company has to have cash in order to do whatever it wants to do. And it's done that. It has raised cash. It's sitting on 1.77 billion right now as of the last report that just came out. So the company is cash rich compared to what it has been in the past. 2 years ago, the company was sitting on a couple $100 million. Last year, sitting on about $400 million. It did a bunch of cost reductions, sold off properties, turned around and sold its head office property, and then turned around and leased it. All of its warehouses, they used to own them. They sold them off, and then they leased them. So they did leasebacks. They took cash off they turned their assets into capital, and they became liquid. They paid off their long-term debt. Great moves. Now they're sitting on 1.7 billion cash. They can do whatever they want with it. Good thing. That is the ingredient, another ingredient you need for GameStop to ultimately hit $1,000 a share in the open market. But you have to have a shtick, a gimmick, something that will enamor the market and envision the investors out there to want to jump on board this stock. And it can't be retail locations in every shopping mall in every city. It can't be the brick and mortar game. It can't be that. So it's got to be something else. And I have been asking and mentioning, I mentioned this in a while, but I used to mention this early in the year about the idea of, do you think it's possible that GameStop in the next 3 to 5 years will eventually close off and let expire thousands of leases that they have, because they don't own a single retail location's footprint? This is not a real estate company. This isn't McDonald's. You ever see that movie, The Founder? The story of Kroc, Ray Kroc, and McDonald's. Great movie with Michael Keaton, one of the greatest actors of all time, because he is Batman. He is Batman. That movie really told the story, told a lot of stories about McDonald's, but the one story it told us, and I caught it, I'm sure many of you have too, is there was a scene with Michael Keaton and a young man who stopped him on the street, said to him, "I was listening to you talk to a loans officer in the bank just a minute ago. I'm sorry for overhearing. Couldn't help it over here, but you don't run a restaurant. You're not a restaurant company. So what are you talking about? I sell hamburgers all over America." He said, "No, that's not how you're gonna make your money. You're gonna make your money on real estate." And McDonald's became the single largest real estate owner of a food company in the world, and is today still, because they make their money on the appreciating value of their real estate that their restaurants sit on. GameStop doesn't do that. GameStop doesn't own the land and the building that GameStop stores are located on. GameStop rents locations in shopping malls everywhere. And so they have an advantage in a way to say, well, every 5 or 10 years, our leases come up for renewal, and we get to choose whether or not we renew the lease or not, because there's no penalty if we walk away from a mall. If a certain mall in this neighborhood in Dallas or Houston or Lexington, Kentucky, or Atlanta or Seattle, or wherever it is in the United States or Canada or Australia, if this neighborhood, this area of the city that this location is located in is going downhill, crime is on the rise and other retailers are walking away or what have you, we can walk away too. We don't own the land or the building. We're not going to be caught in a scenario where we're, trying to renew our mortgages on all of our properties with our bankers, and our bankers are putting up some squawk about 20% of our locations because they happen to be in the poor part of town, and the bankers don't think that the real estate values are the same as they were 5 years ago. We want to renegotiate a more higher interest rate deal because we think your land is not as valuable as you think it is. They don't have that problem. It's a problem, but it's also another problem. They don't have the problem of declining real estate, but they don't have the real estate. They only have cash flow from their rented or leased locations, where they lease their buildings. But in the world of retail, it has become obvious to a lot of investors out there. Successful successful retail companies that sell merchandise, those who have the flexibility to walk away from underperforming locations, might be the better way to invest, might be the better place to invest in, because these are the folks that can shift out of this mall and open up in that mall, or they can open up in this part of town, or we can change our strategy and go from an indoor mall to outdoor big box retail type centers. Or we have the ability to make a deal with larger retailers and open up sub stores inside larger stores. And this is where I'm wondering, could this be the answer down the road for GameStop? Could this be the thing that they might be able to bring to the table that others can't? GameStop might decide that we're going to close 4 stores. For every 4 stores we shut down, we're going to open up one new store instead. And we're going to go from 4,000 locations to 1,000 locations. Just kind of hang on there with me. And the way to do that is the new stores we're going to open up will not be leased locations in shopping malls. We're going to open up new stores in very successful existing retailers that are already out there. How about Best Buy? Why don't we make a deal with Best Buy? And why don't we cut an arrangement with those guys to have a GameStop store inside a Best Buy store? Now, you as a customer walk through the front doors of Best Buy, and there's the greeter saying, "Hey, how are you? What are you looking for? How can I help you?" And you say, "Yeah, I'm looking for a brand new PlayStation 5, a Sony PlayStation 5." And the youngster there will say to you, probably university age kid, will say to you, "Oh, head over here to the GameStop store. Head over to our GameStop store over there." Well, there isn't like a building all encased in glass or anything like that. There's no retail store like that. It's just a corner of the Best Buy store over here. It might be in the middle of the Best Buy store. It might be over on one side, wherever it is. And it's just a different colored counters. Staff are Best Buy staff with maybe a GameStop shirt and a Best Buy logo on both logos on the shirt. They're there to help you. They're there to service you. And you're looking at product under glass, like an Apple store, everything under glass. You see everything under glass that you can acquire, and then you just point and shoot, tell them what you want. Now, in the future, 5 to 10 years from now, it may well be that we walk into a Best Buy store, we see something we want, we grab our telephone, and we take a picture of the item number, click, and then we have that on the app, the store app that we've got, and then we go to the checkout counter, and the items are waiting for us because we hit checkout, and it's all paid for through our phone already, and we just go to the pickup counter and they just give it to us. That could be the future of retail, but I digress. First of all, let's come back to today. GameStop could literally have 1,000 locations inside existing retailers like Target, like Walmart, like Best Buy. I can see even Costco's, where you will have sub stores inside mega stores, where they share the gravy. And the advantage for Best Buy is they don't have individual stores that are 800 square feet to 1,500 square feet in malls all over the place. They just are inside existing retail operations that are successfully run. For Best Buy, why would Best Buy want to do this deal? Best Buy will say, "Well, we don't have to deal with all the game manufacturers anymore. We don't have to cut deals to buy games and consoles and all this stuff. We let GameStop do that. GameStop handles all that. We have an Apple store inside our Best Buy locations. We have Apple locations. You can buy an Apple phone. You can buy an iPad. You can buy Apple accessories at a Best Buy store, but it's not from Best Buy. It's from Apple, an Apple store inside Best Buy. There's an arrangement there, and I'm looking at GameStop as making a deeper arrangement where they will work it together. And this way, when Best Buy has their gigantic Labor Day sale, their Easter sale, back to school sale, they've got their Christmas merchandising. The traffic coming through the front door of Best Buy, a percentage of that is going into the GameStop pockets. Both are working royalties off of each other. It's all happy times. I see this as a win-win for both companies, and I see this as a win for GameStop because they go from 4,000 locations ultimately to 1,000 locations, and they don't have 1,000 landlords. They might have 5 landlords. They have Best Buy with 250 locations or 600 locations. They have Target with so many locations. They have Walmart with so many locations. They might have, all these other locations. It might well be they might be inside some of the other big box retailers out there across the world. Top locations in Canada, Australia, Europe, the United States, and they're now dealing with 6 landlords instead of 5,000 landlords. That could make the stock go to $1,000 a share. That could help the efficiency of the company dramatically because now their legal department that is handling all of these individual store leases is going to be pared down. They're going to have a legal department handling leases just with the Best Buy people. So you've got these lawyers deal with the lawyers at Best Buy. These lawyers deal with the lawyers at Target. These guys deal with these, and so you've got GameStop reducing their overhead dramatically on the admin side, just to administer the leases and the logistics of all of this distribution. Of course, e-commerce is the future of the company, obviously through their warehouses, and different divisions of e-commerce will be future growth. So that could be non-fungible tokens, that could be gaming tournaments, it could be an alignment and an association with perhaps a company like DraftKings, where a DraftKings type company and GameStop will partner up in some kind of a wagering, gaming, something. I have no idea what. There might be just like a subsidiary company created by GameStop that will be dealing with a subsidiary company of DraftKings that will then do a deal together and then go forth and multiply. And royalties are brought into GameStop from that division. That could add cash flow and earnings to GameStop's bottom line, helping the stock go to 1,000 a share. But everything I've just talked to you about, everything I've just said here in the last 20, 30 minutes, all of it has to do with fundamentals. None of it has to do with the shorting of the stock. None of it has to do with artificial shares that are out there or synthetic shares that we hear these terms about, which I have trouble explaining to you because I have trouble understanding it myself. None of it needs any kind of a mother of all short squeezes to make it go to 1,000 a share. What can make the company go to $1,000 a share are the fundamentals of the company itself. That's ultimately what one could get the shares to 1,000 a share and keep them at 1,000 a share, rather than get up there to 1,000 a share and then come back to $250 a share because another blow off has come and gone. The mother of all short squeezes, when it comes down to it, really means that a stock will go up dramatically. Everyone who got in early gets out, leaving everyone at the top to hold the bag, and then everyone gets the hell out of Dodge. Well, it doesn't work. It didn't work in January when the stock went from nothing to 400 or 500 a share. It came back, went up again, came back. Now it's here. Sure, the stock of GameStop today is right now $202.39. It's a far cry from $4.80, but it's a different company. The company's completely changed since $4.80 June of 2020 to today. But going forward, the company has to change again. Remember, the stock's at $202 a share right now on hype, yes, but on fundamentals. Because fundamentally, the company is not the same company that it was a year and a half ago. Now, the analysts in New York have completely ignored this or will not. They do not want to admit it, They don't want to credit the company's change. They give it a one quick sentence. Oh, the company's changed quite a bit, but the company's no longer in debt. But there's always the but. But what the but I'm using is, hey, yeah, it's 202 a share right now. The company's debt free. They're sitting at 1.7 billion cash, which is about $23 a share for every shareholder, and it's run by an entrepreneur. And because of that, fundamentally, this company has completely changed out and can continue to evolve. And so the when, why, and how all comes down to the fundamentals of the company's ability to generate cash flow, earnings, reduce their costs, and be unique. That will dictate that the shares will reach 1,000. Will there be a short squeeze as part of it? Maybe, but I honestly will tell you that the shares are 202 right now, not because of a short squeeze. They're not sitting here at 202 right now because there's all kinds of people short the stock. It's here at 202 because people who own this stock today at these prices, they share a belief in the fundamental upside of this corporation, what its fundamentals are going to be about. And I say to you out there who are loyal to GameStop, way to go. You've done well. The company is evolving and it is moving forward. It might not be fast enough for many of you because a lot of you are looking for, you got 8-second attention spans out there. I get it. It's the new world. But the reality is that in the corporate world, what GameStop has done in the last 6-8 months is light speed unbelievable. And I think it continues. But it'll be 2 years from now when we sit back again, hopefully I'm still here, we'll look back and go, I remember in 2021 when that old whippersnapper from Calgary, that nomad guy, Bruce, was talking about what this stock was doing. I remember way back then what he was up to. And I do recall, what he said, and it was all about fundamentals. And here we are, all about fundamentals again. We're still talking about fundamentals to this very day, and we will 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, we will again be talking about fundamentals on GameStop. And there you have it. That's why and how the stock will get to 1,000, but it won't get to 1,000 and come back to 200. It'll go to 1,000 and stay there, or it might go to 1,500 and back off to 1,000. It might do that. That might be the deal. Looks like we've got our moron is back. We've been wondering where that moron has been. He's back, or it's back. It might be a girl. I don't know. Probably a boy. Probably a teenage boy. We have a teenage boy back causing havoc on the channel. In any event, there you go, kids. There's the update for you, and there's my take on how this is theoretically going to happen, and how we're going to get to 1,000 and why and everything else. Those of you who are here as members, thank you for being members of this channel. I so appreciate it. Jennifer and I are always overwhelmed by how many there are of you. Thank you for renewing your membership of this channel every month. It is gratifying to know that you're doing it. Those of you who are subscribers to this channel, thank you very much for being subscribers of this channel. We love you, and we hope out there many of you will consider to become subscribers if you aren't already, or if you are subscribers, you're thinking of becoming members, thank you. We're just going to member chat right now because obviously we've got a troll here and he might have friends. So we've got to go to member-only chat right now to avoid the possibility of being attacked by people who don't agree with the messenger. They might not like the message of the messenger. What can I say? Thank you for joining me so far. It's 6 minutes to open. It's 9:24 Eastern time, and I thank you for hanging out with us today. At the moment, the market, let me take a look here, is up 111 on the Dow. So the market liked the inflation numbers. We've got S&P up 14. We got NASDAQ up 55 points. So we got a good looking pre-market going here. We have an attacker here on our channel. So sorry about that. We're gonna have to tolerate this individual for a while. Hopefully this individual is a member. We'll renew a bunch of membership. But we're looking all right. GameStop 202.83 down 49 cents to nothing burger at this point. Only 16,000 traded so far in the morning on the stock. So not much going on there. Other stocks we're following. I'm looking at Matterport at $18.12, down 9 cents on 14,000 shares. Not a lot to get excited about there. ATIP, we're waiting for a new CEO to be announced. We don't know when that's going to happen. We don't know who it's going to be. Stocks at 386. To me, it's a bargain. I think it's an easy double once we have a new CEO. If the right CEO is hired, I think it's going to be a winner, but that's just me and my hopes and dreams and aspirations. SoFi, 1506, up a nickel on 183,000 shares. Not a lot happening there. Rocket Lab right now at 15.95, up 55 cents this morning on 50,000 volume. We only have $5 more to go to get back to 2021, so come on back. Thank you very much. Let's see what happens with Rocket Lab today. 23andMe at 814, up a penny on 4,000 shares. Nothing much going on here. We're now 4 minutes away from the opening. And I think that's my updated quotes over here on this side of things. Let me go back to GameStop over there. There it is, 202.68. So we'll keep that over there. Let me take a peek at my phone for other updates on how things are coming along here. Thank you, all of you, for joining me today, and appreciate all of you following us. Let's see what's going on here. Apple today, big day for Apple. They're going to have their show and tell at 1 o'clock Pacific time. I think that's 4 in the afternoon Eastern time, if I'm not mistaken. We should hear about the new Apple 13, or whatever they're going to call it. They want to use the number 13, I don't know. The stock right now up $1.22 to $150.73. We have IBM this morning at $138.60 at 45 cents. We have Smart Rent at no change. We have no updates on Smart Rent, sorry. No pre-market trading I can tell you about. Rocket Lab, as I say, up to 1580. So it looks like it's going to try to push 16 again. That would be great. Spire Global, the satellite operator, 966, up 38 cents, but only 300 pre-market. Very quiet. Sextera, 998, 954, pardon me. It was 998 for a bit this morning. 600 traded, so we have virtually no volume. Can't give you an accurate read at the moment. AMC this morning, 51.25, down 44 cents at the moment. That's where we're at. And 23andMe, we did at 814. Matterport, 18.15, down a nickel. And let's see here. SoFi, there we are, 15.05, up 4 cents. Royal Caribbean, 83.70, down 14 cents at the moment. So there you have it. We're 3 minutes away from opening. Let's see what's going on, and we'll figure out what's going on. Uncle Bruce, you never answered if you would get Coke or Pepsi on your move. You never answered if you would get. Modern day logistics is amazing because it provides so many options. I don't know what the question. What was the original question? I don't understand what's going on. Scott is saying, thanks for the insight, Bruce. It amazes me that we can generate capital as we wait for our stocks to mature. I know Buffett says his favorite time to sell is never. What are your thoughts on that? Yeah, I'm a fan of generating income on a consistent basis, and I have really spent a lot of time with many of you here to reiterate the fact that I don't care what it is you own. Certain stocks are in a position to make you money just being a holder of the stock. And GameStop is one. AMC is another. Robinhood, if any of you own that, is another. IBM is another. Goldman Sachs is another. Cisco, Microsoft. I believe in writing options. I believe in being an option writer to bring in income. And some of you I know are completely opposed to it. You do not want to risk your stock because you think you're going to lose it. Some of you have noticed in the last now couple months where a stock can make a move like GameStop. It did this 4 months ago. It did this last month. It can move, but you can make moves as an option writer to offset these kinds of moves, to lock in much higher exercise prices, higher premiums, and you can ultimately cash in on a stock that plateaus or backs off a little bit. You can really cash in handsomely. And when you compare the kind of money you can make being an option writer as opposed to just being a stock holder only, an investor, there's no comparison between the two. You can bring in nice cash flow holding stock year in and year out, month in and month out, week in and week out on a consistent basis. And I have taken the time to produce lessons on how this can be done, and the lessons are available on my website, stockmarkerswithbruce.ca, at your convenience. Check out the classes and learn how to write options, become an expert, and learn some of the aggressive option strategies I like to talk about, um, and spreads and all kinds of ways of dealing with it, and how to handle the psychology of it, the stress of it. It's all covered in the lessons. And if you give it a chance, I think you'll be very happy with results. Those of you who are wondering how the markets are doing, let's get into it. We are open now. The bells have rung. We're up and running on the street. We have the Dow right now up 83 points, now up 89 points. S&P up 16, Nasdaq up 65. Gamestop is sitting at $200.36, $200.69, up down 271 a share. Rocket Lab is up and running on 170,000 volume. We're up 41 cents. Happy to report the up move. 1581 on Rocket Lab. 1583 now, up 43 cents. We're improving there. SoFi 1501. It looks like at the moment. I don't see a change with 400,000 shares at the moment going through. GameStop now 199.40, down $4 to open. Matterport 1796, down 24 cents on 85,000 shares. 23andMe, no trading yet that I could see. Let's see if anything else is moving here. Spire is up 38 cents on 3,000 shares. That's all I've got there. It's at 966 now. ATIP, not yet. Let me see who else. Anyone else moving yet? I'm looking for any openings. Sextera, down 13 cents on 4,900 shares. Very quiet at this point. Showing AMC now down 51 cents to 51.18. Robinhood up 18 cents. Vanek Vector's up $1.62. Home Depot up $1.84. IBM down 6 cents. The Dow now up 82 points approximately, 82.99. Microsoft up $2.40 a share. Apple up 98 cents. Tesla up $5.82. Bed Bath & Beyond down 28. BlackBerry down 2. Royal Caribbean down $1.14 to 82.70 a share at the moment. Goldman Sachs up 57 cents at the moment. So early start. Now, Rocket Lab improving here, 1635, 1643 on Rocket Lab on 384,000. We got a little pop here. Those of you who picked off some shares yesterday, congratulations. You're now being rewarded for your efforts. 1643 a share, up $1.03 on Rocket Lab to start the morning. SoFi now gaining a dime at 15.11, and the SoFi have now traded this morning 600,000 shares. Rocket Lab volume 470,000 now at 1646. GameStop is back over 200. It's at $200.43. Matterport 1805, down 15 cents. 23andMe up 6 cents to 8.19. Smart Rent still not showing anything. Spire up 24 to 9.52. Sixter up down 13 cents. 16.55 on Rocket Lab, continuing to move higher, up $1.15 a share. Welcome back, Rocket Lab, from your sell-off. What we get, we were as low as 15.30 or 15.10 yesterday on Rocket Lab. We kind of touched it. Now we've popped back. 16.60 now. Rocket Lab up $1.20. Beautiful. I like it. Fantastic. We're up 77 on the Dow. We're up 15 on the S&P, and we're up 64 on NASDAQ. Early morning market moves. Welcome one, welcome all to the Stock Markets with Bruce channel. I'm Uncle Bruce, your buddy, trying to help you figure out what is happening in the stock markets in plain English, if that is even possible. It's a complicated world. What can I say? Laugh Out Loud says, Rob, $200 covered call on GameStop I wrote yesterday for $10 and expires on Friday. Open at $7.50 this morning. You gotta love that. That's the beauty of time depreciation, or what they call time degeneration. As each day goes by, Rob, these calls are getting crushed by the clock, and the clock is your friend. Even if the stock goes higher, the clock is still your friend to negate an up move on your covered calls. That is the advantage of writing covered calls. The advantage of writing puts, of course, on something like Rocket Lab. We had investors yesterday, viewers yesterday, writing covered puts or writing put contracts. They were writing $20 put contracts on Rocket Lab that expire in January. They were getting $9 each for those yesterday. Those puts were about $4.50 in the money when they wrote them with a $4.50 premium. Now they're only $3.50 in the money, and these folks are already ahead of the game because the puts are going down in value, and that's what they're looking for. They received $9 cash in their hands, and this is easy money as far as I'm concerned. Rocket Lab now $16.57, up $1.17. Very good. There you have it. Covered calls are going into a retirement plan, hopefully. Vilbus, writing covered calls on the beach is the plan for my retirement. It's insane how much Spire moves on such tiny volume. It is. It really is. Spire yesterday went down on light volume. Now it's up 33 cents on light volume. It is amazing. It really defies logic, but it's early days, so we'll see what's going on. Let's go. Yeah, come on, troll. Get your mom's credit card again and do what you do best. People are daring the troll to be up there. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Rob is saying, I'm going to put in a $5.20 buy order to close up my covered call from yesterday. That's an easy $500 in one day. I'll take that anytime. Yeah, it's possible they might come your way. Obviously, the shares are a bit lower right now, 198.18. We're down $5 on the stock. Your contracts may just dip down that low. You'll scoop them and sit on the sidelines and get ready to write again. Yes, indeed, my friend. There you go. Test Donkey is saying, hey, come on, SoFi, keep going. Up 23 cents on SoFi right now at $15.24. Rocket Lab at $16.20 right now, still up 80 cents. We got Matterport at $17.84, down 36. We have 23andMe up 12 cents to $8.25. We have Spire up 40 cents to $9.68. ATIP up $2.8 cents a share at $387.8. Sextera down 19 cents. AMC down $1.11 at the moment. Robinhood up 12 cents. Avanik up 90. Home Depot up 71. And I'm showing IBM. Why IBM down 73 cents. The Dow is up 70 points at the moment. Rocket Lab 1628 up 88. SoFi 1522. There you go. Well, here we are. Chase Rosita Barker is saying, Uncle Bruce, I need to improve my strategy to take advantage of quarterly earnings report periods. Example, GameStop. Last time I wrote much too early and too low a strike price help. You know, this is one of those things where I can't tell you how the stock's going to react each and every time they come up with reports. The last time, not the one we just had, but the one before, we witnessed the shares go from this 160, 70, 80 range to the 210, 20 range to the 280 range to the $330 range. And then unfortunately, over months, weeks, come back all the way back to the 160 range. This time around, we went from the 155, 65, 70 range, got into the 200 range, 210 range, got up to 230, and that was it. Nothing above 235 or something like that a share, and back now to 200 a share. Here we are. It's not the same as last time. It may be a slight mirror effect, but nothing like before. So next time around, I have no idea what to tell you what's going to happen. I cannot say. You have to take the attitude of I'm going to write call options against my stock, and I'm going to make my stock pay me to hold it. And if the stock wants to go up, I'll roll my contracts. I'll just roll up and say, hey, okay, I'll go with you. I'll write at a higher strike price and I'll go further out. But if the shares begin to falter and back off, I'm going to either just do nothing, just do this, and watch the deterioration of those contracts I just wrote for a nice buck. And I'll wait to cash them back in. I'll buy them back at a real discount. And then I'll roll into closer in, lower exercise price contracts to take advantage of price deterioration closer in. I mean, that's how you have to play this game. Yep, I sold mine $780, 220 in a day. That'll do. Thank you. British shilling. A large hedge fund just went long on SoFi, buying up nearly 1 million shares. So we're at 15.30 on SoFi, up 29 cents. Rocket Lab 16.15, up 75. Rocket Lab one up, says Onion Investing. Spire, I start to realize that my ATIP is only down 10% rather than $45. This makes me feel less depressed. Well, there you go. Test Donkey, thanks for the info. British Shilling, thanks for the news. Baron Investment is the name of the hedge fund right now. Splayer, somewhere I hear already that from Baron Investment. John, Spire Global to buy Exact Earth, thumbs up. British Shilling, new to me. British Shilling, there's also SoFi for Work, which is a new product where employees of companies such as Tesla and Microsoft can manage their money with their products. Very interesting. SoFi now 15.29, up 28 cents. Rocket Lab up 73 to 16.13. We have Matterport at 17.90, down 30. ME at 8.30, up 17 cents. Smart Rent now is trading. It's up 7 cents to 12.51. Spire at 9.63, up 35 cents now. ATIP up 3.5 cents. Sextera down 20. These are the early market indicators that we have going. The Dow right now is higher. It is up 77 points. We have S&P up, it looks like 10.3, 10.6. We have NASDAQ up 55 points. That is what's going on the big markets. GameStop, $200.93, 201.01, just broke through 201, down 239 a share so far this morning is the latest on GameStop. Good start to the day. We have some green today as opposed to yesterday where it was just red everywhere. We've got green today. We're happy to see that, and we'll see if it wants to continue. Rob, is there any point to not roll over and just let yourself get exercised on a covered call that ran on you, assuming you have the cash to buy back? I don't believe in getting taken out. I really don't. I don't think that is the way you should go. I really believe you should roll over. The reason to me is, for example, I had investors, viewers here who were writing 180 contracts on GameStop, and the shares went up. And they got into that 210 range, and they wouldn't go back to 180 right away. They were just kind of hanging around there, and then they went a little higher. And so what they did is they did a rollover, and they bought back their 180s for higher than they paid. But even buying them back at 40, they turned right around and now wrote $240 contracts, 250s, some even as high as 280s, out to January next year or even April. And they decided that they would take a much higher exercise price of, say, 280, write April contracts way out there, and brought in like $55. So they're paying $40 to buy back a call that they had written originally at maybe $20. So they lost 20 on the first position, but they turned around and wrote a new contract at not only the $40 level, at 55. They brought in another $15. In effect, they're now sitting on $35 a share cash premium from the $20 first contract plus the $15 add-on on the second contract. They have $35 a share cash on hand, which means that if the shares back off and those contracts, those 280s, go from the 55 level down to 35 or lower, they're now ahead on the entire contract. Keep in mind that their shares have gone up from the 170, 80 level when they first wrote that first contract to the 210, 20 level. So they're richer on the stock, and they're going to be richer on their calls. And sure enough, that's what has happened. The shares have backed off from the 220, 230 level. We're now in the 199 level right now. And these $280 calls, which are $80 out of the money now, instead of being 50 out of the money, they're 80 out of the money. They're backing off. And as each day goes by, more time is evaporating, albeit it's a little bit of time at the moment because Aprils have a long time to live. Nonetheless, each week there's less time, but there's also the price factor. Now, when the shares, these shares have fluctuated, obviously. If these shares touch 190 today, that would put the contracts $90 out of the money. And so the idea that the contracts could go from, say, that 55 level, they could be now at 40, they could be at 30 this afternoon, for example. They could be 25 later this week if the shares want to hit 185, 182. We know how intraday fluctuations take place on GameStop. This is the advantage as a writer that you have. You get to, quote, day trade contracts that you can write, knowing that the clock will bail you out to a great deal of that premium. If you're still incorrect and you write a call out of the money with all premium on it, it will shrink out. So these Aprils can be reacquired, even if you pay, say, $40 for a contract that you're into it for $35 for. You're still down $5 if you buy them back at $40, but they did come down from $55 to $40. You now are turning around and rewriting a new contract that might be October's, and they might be October 210s. You might write November 210s or December 210. You're going to write contracts that are closer in on time and on price, and you're going to still bring in $40 a contract. In other words, you have a $40 call that you need to buy back, but instead of having to wait until April for it to expire, you're now down to December. And if the shares back off even further, you can buy those calls back and now write November contracts, and you're bringing the time factor even closer to you, which means that instead of a call having 160 days to live or 120 days to live or 90 days to live, it now has 45 days to live, and every day is 1/45th of that contract's life. Evaporate. And that accelerates the downdraft. And that is the key to this game, is to make the clock eat the value of the contract against the bettor that's betting against you. You're the casino. You make the rules. You get to change the rules for the bet you're making. You're not locked in to that first option contract you wrote. You're only locked into that deal as long as you keep that option contract short position. You can roll out of it into another anytime you want, and you can extend the time the contract has to go, raise the price of the exercise, or lower the price of the exercise price and shorten the contract game at your whim. And you're just moving. You're literally saying, I don't like this game anymore. I'm going to another table. I'm going to go to this table over here, this blackjack table, and I'm going to set the rules here for this game. And you're going to take on a new position. This is what I love about writing options. Total flexibility that you have in front of you. Anyway, there you go. Goldman Sachs seems to be having a good day today. Let's take a look at Goldman Sachs right now, up 542. Yes, indeed, 414 a share. Let's see. Did you get any bagels? Yeah, we have some bagels. We got bagels. Your calls get exercised. You write puts instead of buying the stock back right away. Could do. There's strategies. Yes, Bruce, I'm one of those with $180 covered calls. I have rolled them 7 times and pocketed net $2,000 in the last 3 weeks on 2 contracts using no extra cash. There it is right there. And this, you can do a single rollover, a double, a triple, rolling again, and there's no limit to how many times you roll a contract and how you roll it. You take advantage of the market that is in front of you. Sometimes most of the time, the stock will tell you what to do by its movement. Went up to 230 a share, now back to 200 a share, goes up to 215 a share, down to 190 a share. When the movement of the stock takes place, this dictates to you what you should be doing. Should you roll over your contracts further out at a higher exercise price, or should you roll your contracts back closer in at a lower exercise price? The stock will tell you how. Right now, the stock is at 203.58, up 19 cents. That's what GameStop is doing right now. Rocket Lab up $1 at 16.41. We're green. SoFi up 26 cents to 15.27. We're green. We're green on GameStop. We're green on Matterport, up 9 cents. We're green on 23andMe. We're green on SmartRent. We're green on Spire. I got green all over my board here, except GameStop just went negative. Wow, what a morning. A nice change from yesterday. Thank you very, very much. I'll take this for sure. IBM still down 27 cents. Why, IBM? Why? That's where we're at. Now, what price should our SPACs get before you recommend selling calls? I've been recommending $20 as your level. Anything over $20 is putting them into play to start considering writing call options against them. But up until that point, I'd hold off. Rocket Lab, 16.48, you're 350 away. SoFi, 15.30, you're 470 away. Matterport, 18.37, $1.63 away. You're close. You're closing in. We're coming in on a couple of these, and more are coming our direction, which I'm very happy to see. DQ, I usually roll over, increase the time, and strike, like Bruce is saying. What's the advantage of the real strategy? That I guess you don't have to pay so much attention to the stock price. The thing, too, about I don't like being exercised, having people get exercised, because you run into fees. You might also run into the delays. You may find that you get exercised on a position and it takes a day or two for the account to be updated and for your account to be lifted to be unrestricted to trade again. It all depends on the platform you're using. I don't know which platforms are the best or the worst. I'm just mentioning it as a consideration. I love the idea of buying back a call and rolling into another one. That is unlimited transactions. There's no restrictions. You're flexible and you can move instantly. And some of you you'll do a rollover in the morning and another rollover in the afternoon and another rollover the next day because your stock is moving. And so you need that flexibility. You can't be tied up for 6 hours a day or a 2-day trading ban. You can't have that. So that's why I don't like the exercise game. Hostergaard, if I wrote some 750 puts on Rocket Lab for $2, are they going to be exercised if the stock is at 16? Well, most option players that write contracts, buy contracts, trade contracts, they don't want to exercise at all. They never want to exercise. They really don't. They're only interested in capital gains on the contracts. Whatever position you take, you're taking the opposite of the seller or the buyer on the other side of your trade. You have your reasons why you're making your move. They have their reasons why they're making their move. And this is strictly a capital gain wager is all this is. So don't worry about being exercised by writing a call in the money or anything like that. Don't worry about it. It's unlikely to happen. It can happen, yes, and the broker will make you put up margin to cover that possibility, but it's rather unlikely. Well, on average, it's unlikely to happen unless you're dealing with a contract that is about to expire tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, and you're in the money. If you're not going to unwind your position before exercise, yeah, of course you're going to get exercised, obviously. But if it's 2 weeks to exercise, or it's a month away from exercise, or it's 4 days away from exercise, you're going to be trading that contract for the next couple of days or weeks or what have you to move into another. Okay, hope that makes sense. You can make a ton doing these. I have made thousands this year off of GameStop and AMC writing covered calls. I've never been called I write further out of the money, then they dip, I buy them back. There it is right there. Damn it, Jim, you got it. Right on, buddy. DQ, Rob, the wheel is a good way to build a position in a stock. Say you don't own 100 GameStop at 200, but you have cash for 100 at 150. You write a put, strike at 150, collect the premium. Exactly. Build cash to buy. Yeah, exactly. Covered calls far up with some price alerts. Set is your friend. Put the phone down and go outside. There you go. Rob, if you get exercised, you own 100 at a discount. That's exactly right. If you write a put, a 150 put on GameStop, get paid a premium to do it, and the stock goes down and you get exercised, you bought at 150, plus you got the premium on top of that. You might be into it for 120 a share. What's wrong with that? Nothing. DQ, got it. Thanks for the explanation. It makes sense. However, I think it'll probably stay with the rollover strategy for now. As a lazy fat guy, I don't like exercising. It's 3 days away. Ha ha! There you go. Yes, indeed. 16.13 on Rocket Lab. We're up 73 cents. SoFi up 30 cents to 15.29. GameStop 202.49 down 91 cents. Matterport 18.41 up 21 cents. Nice seat coming back up. 23andMe 8.30 up 17 cents. SmartRent up 29 to 12.73. Spire up 22 to 9.50. ATIP down 3 cents. Cyxtera down 24. AMC up 50 cents. Robinhood down 23 cents. Matic up 40. Home Depot down 9. IBM down 62. The Dow is now negative. It's gone negative 7 points. S&P is now negative, down a half a point. And NASDAQ holding a 23-point gain right now. That's what we have this morning in the first, 24 minutes or so of trading. It's what we appear to be dealing with here. Microsoft up $1.79. Apple up 32 cents. Tesla up $7.22 a share. Okay? Welcome one, welcome all to another day of trading and trying to determine and discern what is happening in the markets in plain English, if that is at all possible. Um, I'm hoping that I'm not upsetting many of you with these option strategies. Um, I'm not. I'm just not here to uh, give you the illusion that I can give you a stock pick that will triple your money overnight. I'm not known for that. If you follow me at all, you've figured that one out. A lot of people discovered this channel in January and February when GameStop went nuts. And a lot of folks who were following me at that time were simply interested in a hot stock, which GameStop was at that time. But as the days have gone by, the weeks and now the months have gone by, many of you and all of you know, follow me regularly, stocks do not triple every day all the time. It just doesn't happen. You make your money the old-fashioned way. You grind it out. And in the market, you can grind money out of the market on a constant basis. And that can be exciting when you're the guy getting it. It's not exciting when you're the one losing it. And the key to this market is to be on the plus side of the scale as opposed to the negative side of the scale. And in effect, you have to be smarter than 50% of your competition. Because who are you up against? You're not competing against machines. You're competing against other human beings and their emotions on what they think stocks are going to do versus what you think stocks are going to do. One of the advantages that you can give yourself is to be an option writer. This is where you can take advantage of gamblers who are willing, very willing, to lay down some serious odds to take a shot at scoring a home run. You can make some serious money from that pool of capital that's out there. Billions and billions of dollars that's changing hands every minute, every day, every week, where you can take positions on stocks you own or on stocks you don't own. You can do option positions and get rewarded for being a shorter of a call, a writer of a call contract or a writer of a put contract, and making the wristwatch, the countdown clock, your ally in trades. This is such an advantage that you're being given over other traders out there. And I'm doing the best I can to explain it to you in a plain English format, hence why I keep referring to my website, stockmarketswithbruce.ca, not .com, but .ca. Go to my website. You'll find classes that I've listed there. There are 10 of them now that are up there on how to write call options, how to write put options, aggressive option strategies, spreads, all kinds of psychological ways to deal with it. And I talk about in the lessons the stocks we're following right here. I am mentioning GameStop prominently. I'm mentioning IBM, SoFi, and all the other stocks that I follow all the time, that I talk about all the time. These are the option strategies stocks that I'm mentioning. And so when you watch my lessons, you can relate to the fact, oh yeah, well, he talks about GameStop all the time. That's what he's talking about. That's what this means. And hopefully you'll pick up the necessary intelligence and strategies that you need to know on how to break down and how to analyze option trades so that they can work for your risk tolerance. Many of you are very conservative and you do not want to put capital at a major risk. Some of you are riverboat gamblers, and there's strategies for both of you on options. And you can be a real riverboat gambler and still be a writer, but you can also be a very conservative investor and be an options writer and bring in steady income every week, every month, several times a month. And so I thank you for following this channel, and I hope you're enjoying it, and I hope you're finding it useful and profitable. Fantastic. Let's see here. What else is going on? Let's go. Here we go. By the way, Bruce, I still have dreams. Forgetting to return my Blockbuster VHS and games. I remember the panic where Jennifer would say to me, "Oh, it would be like Saturday. It would be Sunday night at 6 o'clock," and she'd go, "Oh, you have to return the tapes. I I have to return the tape? Yes, you're the man. You have to return those tapes that we rented Friday night. Otherwise, we have late fees tomorrow morning. Oh gosh, I'd be in my sweats, and I mean, there would be nights I wouldn't even change out of my sweats. I would just grab my wallet with my ID in it, grab the damn tapes, get in the car, and just try to drop them off. Or there would be some of the video rental stores didn't have a drop box that you could use from your car, but they had the drop box outside the door, and so you look around, no one can see me, so I run out there, pop those things in there, run back in the car, and drive back home. Oh, I remember those days. Yep, I remember those days. DQ, laughing a lot, Rob. Yeah, I just roll. I like to write puts against stocks I don't own. DQ, I also like to write GME puts, big premiums. Nice to saying DQ, well, the Cowboys will win the Super Bowl. Nice. So there you go. Rob, I would love to write puts, but my broker account is a tax-free one that doesn't allow for put writing. Might have to open up a non-tax-free account. British Shilling, I'm not upset by stock options. I just turn off to them as I have no idea what they're about. DQ, nice as be glad Jen isn't up yet. Rob, British Shilling, that was me a few months ago too. It's worth investing some time to look at it. Just start with covered calls and then try it out when you feel comfortable. This group is helpful with the Q&As. Erico, the amount that we've learned, those of us that have watched you since January, is far more valuable than trying to find the next Wall Street bet squeeze. This channel is invaluable. Thank you for your kind words. Nice, DQ, I'm ready. Vilbus, I didn't even know options contracts existed before I started watching Uncle Bruce. I'm glad to hear this. Very exciting stuff. Same, says Rob. I wish I had known about this years ago, but it's never too late. Jen Doe, I generally have made so much money following Uncle Bruce's call writing strategy that I don't even know what I don't even know what I'm doing. Mr. T, hey Brucey, hope all is well in Calgary. Where do you think we go from here on Rocket Lab? I have puts that I'd like to offload and long calls I'd like to rebuy, but I also don't want to rush in. Mr. T, I think you just sit back and relax and let the stock do what it does. It's going to go up and down and up and down, but the general pattern, I think, for Rocket Lab is into the $25, $30 level and beyond. And this is where it's headed. Sooner or later, that's where it's going to be. You've got to, however, allow this stock to gyrate. This is what it's going to do. It is going to jump up and down 50 cents in 5 minutes like you can't believe all the time. It might have $2 days up, $2 days down, or more. The higher it goes, the more volatile it might be for a while, because this company is being discovered every day by hundreds of thousands of people who've never heard of it, who are looking into it going, oh, wow, this is pretty cool. Here's a company doing something. I knew that satellites got launched, but I had no idea that a company like Rocket Lab does it the way they do it, or that they have such a backlog of business, or they have such a diversified company. You have to let this stock become discovered. Many of you who are watching me here on Rocket Lab now, you've become experts on Rocket Lab because you've been listening to me talk about it for 6 months. Well, you got a 6-month head start on the intelligence of Rocket Lab, whereas the street has 5 minutes of knowledge about Rocket Lab, and they got some catching up to do. So give the stock time to become discovered by many, many, many millions of new investors who will pay much more per share than you ever paid, because they came in later. You're just in early, and way to go. Anyway, British Shilling. Rob, thanks. I'm still a bit fingers in the ears, blah, 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 at the moment about it. Happy to buy and hold. Cool Hand Lee, I appreciate the repetition. Sometimes I'm slow. There you go. Rob, British Shilling, nothing wrong with that, but worth a look at this classes if you have a few extra shekels lying around and some time. Attico, thumbs ups. Well, we own that now. Geo, be kind, rewind. That's it. British Shilling, Robin, I am an alien. I would love to approach a different company to trade with interactive brokers. Damn it, Jim is saying, I remember putting the video in the Dropbox and damn near running back to my car so I didn't have to face them and pay the same day. DQ, don't forget, you used to be able to buy a separate VHS tape rewinder so you didn't get charged a rewind fee. I remember when they were available for like $19.99. At Best Buy, you could buy just a rewinder for $20. And people were thinking this is a good deal because you're getting charged $2 or $5 every time you didn't return a tape that was rewound. So, after 5 or 10 or 20 tapes, you just put them in the rewinder and not use your own VCR to wear it out. You'd use this piece of crap to rewind them and save yourself the money. Oh, those are the days. Aria, and also saw something called Samsung Money powered by SoFi. Have you seen that? I have not seen it, but I'm not surprised to hear about this. This is a unique company, and they are coming up with all kinds of neat stuff. Yeah, I was, Nice says, I was the do everything child, Blockbuster VHS, grab the water from the fridge, deliver cigarettes, etc., laughing out loud. John, Cowboys won the Super Bowl. What year? This season belongs to LA Rams and SoFi Stadium. Nice says, call AT&T at 8 years old to get my plan fixed. Nice, good times. Rob, let Rocket Lab gyrate all over you. Mr. T, thanks, Brucey. Legend, thanks, buddy. John Van, GameStop. Okay, here we go. Just need volume. Here we go. GameStop, 20221. Robert, I wish they had taught me all this in school, but there's probably a reason why it is not in the curriculum. Thanks, Bruce, for teaching. I don't think teachers are qualified to teach this. That's the thing. This is not for everybody. As I know, as a YouTuber, I am a YouTuber that is what we call. I call myself a specialized YouTuber. I talk about the markets, but I don't talk about the markets like others do. I talk about the stock markets from my angle of expertise and my history, and my interest level, and my comfort level. And you can imagine that if you tried to teach call option writing to high school students in class, it wouldn't go over very well. I mean, in my day, if you had 30 people in a classroom and it was 15 guys and 15 girls, and we were 17 years old, 18 years old, 16 years old, and someone at the front of the class, a teacher, tried to explain call option writing to 30 kids. Of the 30 that were there, maybe 5 to 10 would have parents that might be in the markets. The rest wouldn't. And so right there, most of the class has no idea what you're talking about from the home level. They can't relate to it at all because mom and dad aren't into it. Even if mom and dad are into buying and selling stock, there could be such a disconnect between the parent and the child that whatever mom and dad do is wrong and whatever I do is right. So there's no interest level there either. So now you're down to maybe 3 kids out of 30 that give a crap about this. There's 27 that are just not interested, that just don't, they view this as as something that's alien to them, and they have no interest in it. And the teacher's up against it. You're down to 10% interest level in your class. This isn't going to go very well. So here you are maybe 10% of the market that might be interested in what I'm talking about, maybe 20% of the market, 30% of the market. And even then, of all of you who are watching me talk about option writing, there might be only half of you that have any interest in it, and a half of those would ever think of doing it. I'm down to now 3% of the market. So for me to attract a huge, mega, multi-million audience talking about something as specific and as detailed as option writing, it's just not going to happen. Now, the advantage for you kids, though, is that those of you who are writing options and are learning about how to do this, you are in the minority. The vast majority of option players, option investors, which I use that term loosely, option gamblers is really the way to go, are folks who are in for trying to find a home run ball. And you are accommodating dreamers that are looking for the lottery win. You are accommodating lottery dreamers in buying a ticket to the big payoff. And it could well be that you're selling a covered call on GameStop with a 210 exercise price. The buyer of your call could be buying 100 covered calls. One of the calls that person bought came from you. The other 99 came from perhaps 15 other sellers combined to put together 100 calls of interest. And it could well be that you sold a covered call for $10 a contract, $1,000 for a contract. The buyer bought $100,000 of contracts in total. You got 1,000 of the 100,000. This gambler is prepared to risk $100,000 on a flip where you're just happy to sell these $10 contracts, and you're happy to buy this contract back at $6 this afternoon, or $4 tomorrow morning, or Thursday afternoon you're buying it at $3.50. I mean, you're going to buy that call back for a lot less than you sold it for. That's your strategy. That's your game plan. The person that bought these from you, they're looking for the stock to go up $50 a share today, tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, so they can go from $10 to $35 a contract and score, sell off, and score out. If that happened and your contract went up to $35 and you're still short the contract, you are a loser. Yeah, sure. You sold at 10 and you now sit at 35. But you can delay the loss and defer the loss and not end the game at all, because what can you do? A rollover. Yeah, buy yours back and roll another one for further out, higher exercise. And you keep your game going. You're not in the football game where the clock says 20 minutes to go. You can actually change the game, start a new game with a new 60-minute clock, or another game, you can roll over again and again and again. Where the gambler, they put up the $100,000 to buy these calls. They're one and done. They're in to score a touchdown ASAP. And if they get it, they get it. But if they don't, that call buyer might sell off those calls at $4 each and get out and lose $60,000 in 1 or 2 days. And easy come, easy go. But that gambler might have $1 million to play with. And so they're only using 100,000 of the million on this one wager that you happen to be a part of. And they didn't win on this one, they're going to try something else. It might be another stock, it might be the same stock, it might be a different contract timing. Who knows? They're all over the place. But there's times where your paths will cross, where you're just a writer of a contract looking to score a time win. That's what you're looking for. Give me a time win. Give me a stock move win. Give me a not move win at all. I can do a rollover. There's ways for you to protect yourself and make money. So, yeah, this is how this game plays out. It's an unbelievable business, absolutely unbelievable. But it is a specialized area of the market, and I am zooming in on it. And I realize that I will not attract 25,000 viewers at the same time to this channel because of this strategy. This is just not that popular a strategy, but it can be extremely profitable for those of you who participate. And I'm happy for you. I love it. I bought some more Spire, ATIP, and ME today. Happy with my purchases and lowering my average on all three. Right on. Way to go. Rocket Lab right now, $15.62 up 23. SoFi up 9 cents to $15.10. Gamestop at $200.75 down $2.65. Matterport up 44 cents to $18.61. ME up 23 to $8.26. Smart Rent up 37 to $12.81. Spire up 16 cents to $9.44. ATIP down 6 cents. Sextera down 24 cents. Welcome to the markets. Another fun day. The Dow is down 95 points after being up 100. We're down 8 on S&P. We're down 1 point on NASDAQ. That is where we're at right now. We'll see what happens. We'll see how this market goes. All right. I got Rocket Lab at 10. I'm happy. There you go. Well, I'm truly hosted. Well, I'm truly and well boned. I wrote a bunch of 1750 Rocket Lab calls a few days ago. I got margin called, bought back in, lost 9,000 so far. I have 6,000 left. This is depressing. Wrote a bunch of 20 calls a few days ago. Margin called. You can't be over margin on your accounts. You just can't. John, government only lets you learn enough to pay bills and taxes. You got to pay for college. Erico, Peter Lynch used to say our schools need a financial literacy class, and I couldn't agree more. I hear you there. John Van, you don't learn to make money. Just spend it. Jake, as of at least a few years ago, Virginia still had balancing a checkbook in the curriculum, and for the economy and personal finance class, right on government circulation. Area. What about compound growth? Something Einstein considered a miracle. Why don't they teach that in school? There you go. Because of the 8-second attention span. That's the problem. Rob, that's why I'm starting my son at 2 years. Make him watch Uncle Bruce. He says good morning to his uncle Uncle Bruce every morning. Good morning from Uncle Bruce to Rob and his son. How you guys doing? Welcome to the show. Nice to have you here. We're in Calgary. John Van Crooks, Oostergaard. I lost near half the money I saved last year. Yay, me. I am such a moron. Rob, you can't teach everyone. You can't teach everyone how to be the casinos. You still need gamblers who don't understand to make it work. Exactly. Being the casino takes work, takes studying. That's the hard part, but it can be rewarding. British shilling, Holster, this is my fear too. And I know I'm greedy, so I think it's better for me to stay away from the options until I feel ready. There you go. Who cares says there's no financial education in school, and it's a shame. Investing was one word I don't recall hearing once in school. There you go. Drop family, Rob. It's called life. Roll another one. British. Rob, sounds like you've adopted him into the family. Rob, you know what? Uncle Bruce and Jen are always welcome over here. Non-fungible token, Uncle Bruce's Theta gang. Deep value. Peter Lynch is one of my favorite value investors. Robert, Bruce, now you are passing your knowledge on to a lot of people who probably down the road will teach us to 1 to 3 others. I really like the thought how your knowledge will be passed on to others. Right on. I'm excited to got approved for margin now. How do I use it in a wise way? Over $100,000. Yes, be careful. Bank stocks are on the red today. We're worried about wondering about interest rates and that type of thing. Rocket Lab, 1540, unchanged. SoFi, up 11 cents, 1512. Gamestop, down $3. Matterport, up 31 cents. 23andMe, up 23. SmartRent, up 37. Spire, up 16. More green than red, I guess. ATIP, down 8. Sextera, down 22. YBM is down 93 cents to 137.22. Unbelievable. The Dow is down 106, now down 113 points on the day. The session lows at the moment. The talk this morning was the Dow might try for back-to-back gains, but we broke a five-day losing streak yesterday. Now we're on a losing streak today. I don't know how this will work out. We'll see what's going on. Markets have turned lower. Well, we'll see how that works out. Down 111 points right now on the Dow Jones, down 114. All right. Rocket Lab now has gone negative at 1529. The high of the day was 1697, right on the opening. It went right up there, 1697, now at 1529 at the moment. And that's kind of the low of yesterday again, kind of that neighborhood. We'll see if this bounces off. We're at 2.35 million. We'll see if it bounces off the lows of yesterday higher again, that could be technically very good. So we'll have to see how it plays out. All right. Make it happen. I did an investing simulator project in the middle school math class. Never heard another word about it after. Rob, when I make my first $1 million in the market, I'm going to get a bagel tattoo in honor of my favorite uncle. FS Panu, I tried to tell some friends of mine that have shares that they can win money by writing calls. They just don't want to. Not sure if it was my poor explanation or the lack of understanding. It is very difficult. It is extremely difficult to try to tell a relative or a friend of yours how to do this. You're really wasting your time. You really are. If you make money in the eyes of some of your friends and relatives, you were lucky. If you lose money, you deserve what you get, is the attitude. You really sometimes have to just stay closed-mouthed whenever you're in a family situation and just not talk about it. Don't mention it. Don't bring it up. Just keep yourself. Talk something else. Talk football. Talk baseball. Talk something. Just leave this off the table. You're talking about money, and in some people's minds, when you say to someone, "Oh, this is how you can make money with money," they feel like you're insulting them, or you're talking down to them, and it's just not. It's not a win. You're talking about something emotional called money. better off not to go there. Just saying. Nice says go Cowboys. Bill, I think teaching children on up financial literacy would help lift a significant percentage out of the life of poverty and wages. Well, yeah, I think that knowledge is power. Finneville area, congrats. Use it wisely by using an option call. When it turns green, sell it. Don't hold until the expired date. Margin is good because you don't need the cash to be settled. Robert Bill Coyne, I agree. Yes, knowledge is power. The more you can learn about how markets work, investments work, the economy works, I say the better. Knowledge is power, but you have to want to learn it. You can't make someone learn it. That's the difficult part. You have to want to. One way to do it is find what the person is passionate about. You might find that someone is really passionate about fashion, or they're really passionate about music, or they're passionate about skiing or rollerblading. Well, you take that passion and then economize it. Economize it, yeah. And then talk about the business of skiing, the business of music, the business of this. That gets them into, oh, yeah, that's right. There is money in this. I'm passionate about rollerblading, but I hadn't thought about the business of rollerblading. And so that's one way to get people into business, perhaps. Hi, Jen.
Hi.
How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Hanging right in there. We're here.
Well, we missed a barn burner of a football game last night. What?
Went into overtime.
Monday Night Football. What a great start.
Went into overtime, and the Raiders won.
He thought he'd won, and then he thought he died, and then he thought he won. And then
We didn't watch the game last night. We
were at a birthday party.
It's incredible. Jen and I are old school. We're boomers, and we're in Creston, and we have what you would call cable TV, but we'd have television, and we would watch that game last night. We're at our daughter's in Calgary. She's 33 now. No cable, no television. She only watches. She has a TV here, but it's a monitor, and she'll watch whatever she wants to watch off the internet. We went to a friend's home yesterday for a birthday celebration. No cable, just a TV as a monitor, and does not subscribe to the television.
Yeah. And he's 45 with children. And
he's 45 with kids. We have our daughter has a guy that she hangs out with. He doesn't have cable. He has a TV that's a monitor. He doesn't have cable. We're having trouble finding cable. It's
I'm going to have to go to a bar.
We're going to have
this
to.
Is what it's come down.
Have to now go to a drinking establishment to watch a game. It's a bad.
Which means I have to curb my language.
Well, depending on the bar. It depends on the bar. But as we move on here from this place to our next place and the next place, wherever we rent a pillow and a bed to sleep on, we're going to have to make sure we have real television so we can watch. So Jennifer can watch a football game.
I need my NFL package.
She needs her NFL package. It's bad news.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It had everything. For anybody who doesn't really watch football, last night was the game to watch. It had fumbles. It had longs. It had shorts. It had defense. It had kickers.
I am sure the citizens of Las Vegas are over the moon thrilled with their home team, first home game in their brand new stadium. What a way to welcome the Raiders to Vegas. Hello, and Vegas.
They thought they had won. People were starting to leave, and they did the replay and said, no, his knee was down before, so they had to, stand still.
Oh, my God. They had it all. The highs, the lows, and the highs. How about that?
Yeah, exciting stuff. So, what's it going to be this morning?
Well, I think we got ourselves a sesame seed bagel over there.
I think we do.
And I haven't had a really nicely well-toasted sesame seed bagel with butter and grape jelly on it for a long time. And I think it's time to do one of those. I'm really looking forward to that. So, yes, indeed. It's bagel time. Yeah, baby. Let's see what happens. Rocket Lab has gone positive again. It's up 17 cents to $15.50. SoFi now up to $15.14, up 14. GameStop at $198.66, backing up $4.74 right now. Matterport up 24 cents to $18.44. ME up 26 to $8.39. SmartRent up 45 cents to $12.89 now. Spire up 16 to $9.44. ATIP still down 6 cents to 379. Sexterra down 30 to 922. Welcome to the markets, one and all. That's where we're at. IBM down $1.02, and the Dow down 121. There you have it. So the Dow is negative, and most of our stocks are green today. Go figure. That's how this is working lately. I don't know. What can I tell you? Welcome one and welcome all. Let's see. Yeah, Apple has their show today. The show and tell is today.
Is it during the day or after?
It's 1 o'clock Pacific time, so it'll be just at the end of the day. Area Fenville did some writing of SoFi puts out of the money, says Area. Good thing these days, most trading apps now have what's called paper trading. And that allows you to put a simulated amount of money into the portfolio to see how you do trading stocks and options. I think it's an excellent idea. I think that if you're thinking of writing options, you should try the simulated markets that these outfits offer you. I think it's a great way to do it. Great way to see if you can how it works in real life other than real money. It's worth a shot. I like it. Knowledge is power if we put it in practice, says Oscar. I agree with that. Cloak. Certainly a good way for new people to learn and not lose capital. I agree. Rob says, good morning, Jen. Larry says, good morning, Jen. Forrest Trump says, Raiders. Pick Nose says, go Raiders. Picked the money line last night. Fumbler, rollerblading is my passion. Then dogs, then stocks. There you go. John Van, not in Creston. Did you forget? Non-fungible token says, area nice. I just like to use margin for quick settlement. Writing puts, options, collateral, and buying shares and positions to round up to the nearest 100 shares. There you go. Fenville area, right on. I'm doing the same. Yesterday, I learned from one of the folks here to write cash covered put on Rocket Lab at $20. For January 22, I got $8.80 per share. You do need the cash to do it. Right on. John Anderson's good morning says, good morning, Jen. Nice says Texas has the best cowboy bars if you can stand it. Picknose says that stadium looked great. Wouldn't mind SoFi name on that one too. Raiders would have won multiple times. Could have won multiple times as well. Bill, nice. Been there. Shaky Fry Wad, you and Aunt Jen can subscribe to Fubo TV or Hulu streaming and pick up local TV at most cable stations, including ESPN. Only in the United States, not in Canada. Cannot do it in Canada. Verboten here. Fenville, nice. I guess I need to look into it. Nice, says Bill Cohn. How are you doing with GameStop? Larry, bagels are back down with toast. Rob, Larry, agreed. Toast, yuck. Bill, nice. Big moves here. Just waiting for September, October when the economic bad news spreads. Larry Titus, I'm using Thinkorswim's paper trading to practice options. Way to go. Area Uncle Bruce, do you own in your own portfolio all these companies you're talking about? No, I do not have a portfolio of stocks. I don't trade any contracts, any stock, no mutual funds, nothing. We are not investors. I am here as a commentator without conflict of interest. So I can talk to you about whatever I want to talk about, not having to worry about, I wrote calls and now I'm talking down a stock, or I own this and I'm doing that. No, I'm not interested in competing with my viewers. I'm here providing my knowledge of the market to my viewers, and my reward is when you do well. That's how I win, and that's my involvement in the market. So I love it if you guys are writing call options or you're writing puts and you are succeeding. I'm a happy guy because so many of you are sharing some of your wealth with me through donations, through PayPal or Super Chat, or you're members of this channel, or you're taking my lessons, watching my live classes, you're hiring me for one-on-one private sessions. This is how I benefit from doing what I'm doing. I don't have to play the market to do it. And there you have it. No conflict of interest whatsoever. All right. Nice, Bill Cohen. Hope it all goes well, man. Congrats. Bruce, you could use a VPN, set it to the USA, then Fubo and others would work. I can help you set this up if you like. It's very simple. Thank you, Aaron. We will take you up on that eventually. Just another Patriot. Bruce, do you still have your license to trade? No. I'm out of the business, and the only way to maintain a license to trade is you must be in the business. I must be an employee of a firm that is a licensed firm, and I am not an employee of any brokerage firm, and I do not want to be. Thank you very much. Bill, nice baby steps on patience. That's a lot of that. Nice, Bruce. What do you think about CAT? I have no idea. No opinion. Yep, a VPN would help you, Uncle Bruce. A VPN could help. Yeah. John, Bruce's hairline proves at a younger age his launch cap killed his hair. Too many shots out of the cannon in your circus days. Larry, I love all the kitchen noises coming off of the Jen from the camera. She's right there. It's a small little place. Cloaked, use WinScribe. You can get 15 gigabytes a month for free, or it's like $50 a year. There's all kinds of advice coming our way, which we can't handle it all for unlimited, he says, or she says. Smooth Wake, Fendel, I like how you guys used PIT as puts to get your Rocket Lab. I went out the other route, buying deep in the money call, so that when the price goes to 20, my first 100 shares are free. At 24, I get 200. Smooth Wake's puts. Area, thank you for being honest about it. Your portfolio position, you got it. It's nothing. I'm not hiding anything that way. While it's true a VPN would help, you can't just use any VPN. Believe you me, there you are. I agree with that. Can't just use any. Again, we're in the Canada right now. We'll be in the States shortly. We'll be fine. We're looking forward to it. We're excited. Can't wait. Anyway, we'll see what's happening here. Nice is saying, Bruce, you could use an onion router on top of a virtual machine with a VPN to stay ultra safe. Here's a super sticker for $5. Thank you for the super sticker. You're the gold medal position holder right now for donations. You are number one right now. Rob Friedman, Bruce's honesty is one of the main reasons I became a member. Again, thank you, Rob, for your kind words. And Aria, thank you for this super sticker. Thank you very, very much. All right. I can smell that bagel coming. Oh.
The bagel itself, everybody has their own dough and their own yeast and their own flours. So the bagel smells a little different.
Well, we're in a different town.
Exactly.
Different altitude. We're at 3,800 feet versus 1,800 feet.
That's right.
Different.
But it looks like a bagel.
I got me a bagel here. I got me a bagel with grape jelly on it. Ooh.
This
is the bottom of the bagel. Let's see.
So do you eat the bottom first and save the sesame seeds for last? Is that it? Or
it varies. I tried to pick up the piece. There's 4 pieces. I picked up one. Don't analyze it. I just picked up a piece.
But didn't your mommy tell you that when you're offered a plate of food, you're supposed, like a plate of cookies, you're supposed to take the one that's closest to you?
No.
Well, my mother did. She obviously cared that I perform in public well.
Okay. Or your mother was psycho.
5 kids do.
She was psycho.
4 in 4 years? Yeah, that'll do it to you.
Maybe your mother was taught by her mother, who was psycho.
Well, yes, I could go with that. Grandmother was very particular on manners. She's the one who'd come up behind you and pull your shoulders back, and all the things you couldn't do at the table. And God help you if you put the brush anywhere in the kitchen.
Oh, psycho.
Psycho.
Rob, Area, Bruce's honesty is one of the main reasons I became a member. Thank you, guys. Or maybe you believe me, but you don't trust me. I believe what you're saying, but I don't trust you. There you go. Yeah, that's right. Hear me now, believe me later. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Larry, nice. You've been spending some time on the dark web. Area, just no politics, please. No politics. Fenville, Smoothway. The only downside to writing cash covered put is I have to commit 15 to 20 grand cash in there. However, I usually buy it back when I make a profit. There you go. Larry, bagel, jelly. There you go. Larry ties no, but safer. Haha, thanks, no Matt Snowden. All right. Thank you, Jen, says Oscar. Rob, Jen has manners, obviously. Bill, Bruce, I'm guessing a good amount of your luggage you carry is bagels and diet soda. John, was Jen's mom's name Frances? No. Mr. Seneca, thank you for your donation, Mr. Seneca.
Francis.
Uncle Bruce looking to buy some calls on BKSY, trying to decide on a good strike in time. I found 7.5s for February 22 for 320. What do you think? I don't even know what BKSY is. I have no idea what the stock does or what they're called. Whether this stock is where it's at its high, at its low, is somewhere in the middle. I have no idea of the volatility of the company. I have no idea about its trading history or pattern. So you're asking me to give you an opinion on something that I'm unqualified to talk about. I'm completely lost here. I don't even know what the stock's trading at. So is a 750 in the money, out of the money, at the money? I can't help you. Sorry to say. Smoothway, Fenville. That's the reason I went into the calls. I didn't want to hold up that much capital. We win in the end. There you go. Uncle Bruce went to Costco to get his bagels. No. It's just a Safeway bagel. It was an emergency pickup last night. And I mean emergency. I just got there as they were closing the door. I just got there. Davey, Bruce, thank you for whatever. Thank you, whoever gave us the tip on writing the put on Rocket Lab. That was a sweet premium. So if I get 900 and get exercised for some reason, aren't I paying 2,000 less 900? So effectively 1,100? Yes, you are.
Yes.
You're paying $11 for a stock that's trading at 15.30. Yeah. Hello. That's right. That's right. And if the stock goes to 20, you don't get exercised. You keep all 900. Hello. Yeah, hello. You never bought the stock. You keep the $900. Thank you. How about them apples? Nice, Bruce. May I please buy puts on the Steelers? Rob, I think BSK was a SPAC that has its ties with Rocket Lab. NEPC was talking about them the other day. Nice. Sorry, that was out of line. Bruce has got to have his MTV. Thank you to Sky Nation 22, Canadian dollar donation, $6.99. Thank you. Hi, Uncle B. Would it be wiser to sell GameStop shares while in the green and buy double the GameStop calls at 200 or 5 times the October calls at 200? So is it wiser? Not necessarily. It depends also on how many shares we're talking about here. If you're talking less than 100 shares, you're not in a position to write contracts. I get it. So you're now just gambling on the movement of the stock, that type of thing. If you buy and sell the shares, let's say you have 30 shares of GameStop and you buy them for 190 and then they go to 205 and you sell them. And they go back to 190 and you buy them. And they go up to 205 and you sell them. And they go back. You're just trading this, and you're going from 30 shares to 32 shares to 36 shares to 39 shares. You're playing that game. Nothing wrong with that game because the stock never expires. You don't have to worry about expiring contracts. You just have stock, in and out, in and out. If you got 100 shares or more, you can write a call option against it. And at least now you can play the time depreciation game on these shares. And you might do what some of my viewers are doing, which is, you're writing a call for $9, buying it back for $5, and you're writing it again for $9.50, buying it for $6, you're writing it again for $8, buying it at $3. You're trying to buy and sell calls on an ongoing basis, sometimes in a day, sometimes over a week, sometimes over a couple weeks. You're at least bringing in capital. But buying just contracts, you're going to buy calls only on GameStop. The problem you're going to have is that you're paying an unbelievable premium on the stock. I wouldn't recommend that. I would be the opposite guy. I would be the writer of said calls, not the buyer of said calls. So until you get 100 shares, buy and sell the stock for gains if you can do swings, if that's what you want to do. And then eventually be an option writer. That would be my strategy. Put the premium in your pocket. Exactly. This company's at 1022 now. They're involved with Rockovide. I still don't know what the upside of this company could be. So, yeah, you buy a 750 call and it's worth 270 book value. The rest is premium. I mean, just mathematics alone will say, well, if the stock goes to 12, you'll make money. If the stock goes to 8, you'll lose money. Sure. But fundamentals on the company will dictate the real stock potential here, right? I don't know how much money these guys have. I don't know what the deal is worth. I don't know what kind of pipe financing they got. I don't know who's running the company. I don't know who's behind the company in an ongoing basis. And so I'm unqualified to give you advice on this trade. I just don't know enough about the company and its people to go there. And so this is why I can give you the breakdown, the mathematical breakdown, but that doesn't tell you anything about the potential on this deal. You're going to have to make the call on the potential of the deal. And I don't know if there is a potential. I really don't know. All right, how much would it cost to get you to research PSFE, former SPAC with one of the largest deals? They're in fintech and acquiring companies left and right. Would love your feedback. How much time have I got? I'm live 3 hours, 5 days a week in the morning. I'm live in the afternoon between 1 and 2 hours a day. I have another channel called Traveling with Bruce. Jen and I are traveling. I'm exhausted. We just finished a move. And yeah, I can do research on something like this, but I don't want to. It's not what I live for. I do research on stocks that I follow, of course, obviously. But, I do one-on-one consultations. I do lessons. I do live classes. And I try to maintain my channels in, good order to keep YouTube happy and everything else. And I have a website that I'm managing. And so, I'm kind of up against it. I'm kind of like really busy on a lot of stuff. So for me to stop and drop and take a look at this and then have a time frame to come back to you is not fair to, many people in many areas. And I don't know how passionate I would be about looking into something that I don't know anything about. I mean, if it isn't coming from me, I haven't got the passion in the project. I'm now being hired to have the passion. I'm not that good on that front at all. You're probably better off doing a lot of your own research on this. Again, Google searches and whatever, But, to be fair to you and to be fair to myself, I am not I'm not available on a hired gun basis to look into stocks for you. That would not be fair to you or me in that sense. I know I can do it, but I have other things that I do, and I'm trying to assist 92,000 subscribers on what it is I talk about. Not that I have 92,000 views per video, but I do have 92,000 subscribers that I am known for a certain thing, which is what I'm doing here. And one of the things that I do is try not to spread myself too thin. But it's easier said than done, I'll tell you that right now. Evan, thumbs, hit the like button. Thumbs for Bruce. Fenville, Davey, the credit is to is a stock. Something, I forgot his name. He scored $9 premium, but I only got 80. Rob, wasn't it Credit Savage? It was Credit Savage, that's right. Bill, I was 69 yesterday, and I don't feel a day over 89. Yeah, Rob, it's him. Credit Savage, that's right. Cloak, nobody look. ME is up 32 cents. Sure wish the sleeping giant would wake up. Yeah, it's sitting at 842 right now. Rob, Cloak means SoFi, wake up already. Aaron, I'm going to go relax and have a game before work. Bruce, not glued so much to his tickers now and try to check them a few times per day now. Still always here supporting you, though. Ciao for now. Thank you, Aaron. Have a good one. See ya, Aaron. Have a great day. Eric, I never said you weren't busy. I asked how much would it cost. If you can't do it, you won't do it. No worries. Yeah, it's okay. You too. Nice, Bruce. What did you think of the minute Redbox took over Blockbuster? What did you think the minute? Yeah. Again, At that time, I wasn't following it very closely. Um, I will admit, by the time Blockbuster died out, I had long not been there. And so I was like millions of others who had used them for years. And then one day, I got to the point where I didn't use them anymore. And that's the way it went. Yeah. What if we book a 1 hour session with you and ask you to research a stock with us? Yeah, I mean, you can do that. 400 an hour for a US hour. And we can look at something together if you'd like. I can always do that with you. Sure. Yeah. It's your hour. Yeah, yeah. Uncle Bruce, I've been a troubleshooter and problem solver all my life. I'm done. It's vacation time for me too. There you go. Flush and vision. I wish my GameStop Emmy calls would crawl out of the grave like I do every morning. Yeah, it's me, it's me. Seems these contracts are being bought up. Rocket Lab is on to us. There you go. There you go. Right on. Rocket Lab 1540 unchanged today. Unreal. What a day. SoFi up 16 cents. 15.17. Uncle Bruce, your opinion on Ortex and Fintel, data and information providers, paid about $750 per year. Per year? I don't know what that means. No idea. No idea. Oh, my. Good to have a bagel here. It's nice. Better than toast, I'll tell you that. I still prefer the Costco bagels. Love the Costco bagel. You toast it just right, and the sesame seeds start to roast, and they give up this beautiful flavor, aroma. Oh, man. Fabulous. Love it. Dave, you'll learn more and have more confidence in a company if you do your own research. There's that too. But, experience helps. Definitely helps, for sure. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. The Dow down 210. S&P down 14. NASDAQ down 21. Boy, oh boy. The Dow's giving back everything it got yesterday. Mm-hmm. Okay. Even so, the Dow down $200 points. A whole bunch of green on our stocks today. So interesting how they perform. Chris Average Credit Point Coach, how far out did you go on those puts? John Van, Bruce, face stats with a bagel. I guess I'm going to have to make some bacon, egg, and cheese bagel sandwiches. You're inspiring me, Uncle Bruce. John Van starts. John Van says start. It starts with a bagel. It all starts with a bagel. That's right. I think Credit Savage, you were playing the January puts. I think it was the Januaries. January 20s at 9. Wow. With Farm Fresh Egg says drop. There you go. 1/4 of a bagel to go. Mm. Stayed alive. How are we doing for thumbs ups today? We have 365. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate 365 thumbs ups today. You're able to hit the thumbs up button for us. Maybe we'll hit 500 today by the time we're done. Rocket Lab, unchanged, 1540. Gamestop down 387. SoFi up 15. Matterport up 11. Go. 380 thumbs up. Thank you, everybody. Gave away 9 dozen eggs last week. I got more than we can eat. I was looking at them now. Looks like I can do 14 April 22s for 922. Larry's thumbs up for Bruce. John bought more Spire on the news that they are buying Exact Earth for 160 million. Interesting. I keep buying chickens. I don't know why. Go Spire, go. Go Spire, go. Just go higher, please. Higher, higher. That would be great. Okay. Dow down 213, S&P down 16, NASDAQ down 35. Bagel hit the spot. Spire Global, 918 down a dime. Spire Global to buy Exact Earth for about 161 million. The deal is a cash and stock deal. I don't have exact details at the moment. I can't find anything on an official press release. I'm sure the company will do a press release later today and file it with the SEC, and we'll be able to read up on it, exactly how this deal is going to go through. Stock's at 918 down a dime. The high today was 980, the low of 912, and right now it's at 918. I'm curious to know what the financials are for this company. Is this a private entity they're buying? If it's a private entity, and I suspect it is, I'd be curious to know what kind of cash flow it has. Does it have actual earnings per share? That would flow right to the bottom line of this company. That would be great. So we'll see what this is all about. And this could be the first of several acquisitions that might be happening here. The Spire people buying this company, it's too tiny for it to go public on its own, but it's perfect to be acquired by an existing public company, Spire. And now they get stock and cash. So they're, the founders of that company get their dough out. They get paper in Spire for upside. They retain contracts to keep working with this thing. Win-win. Both parties win. Spire could do 10 of these deals over the next year. And, you acquire $1.6 billion of private assets like this, bend it into a public corporation. Could be trading at a much higher level of earnings. A win for Spire shareholders, a win for Spire management, a win for the 10 companies vending in, the brokers and the bankers and the hedge funds and everyone who's into the stock of Spire all come out ahead. The stock could do very, very well because of this. It's a good move. I like it. I like what I see. I like what I hear. I wish the shares were doing better than they're doing, but at the moment, 34,000 volume. That's it. No volume on this announcement. It is really quiet. I don't know. Exact Earth announces third quarter fiscal 2021 financial results and an agreement to be acquired by Spire Global. Cambridge, Ontario. Exact Earth Ltd., a leading provider of satellite AIS data services, announces its financial results for the 3 and 9 month periods ended July 31, 2021. All figures are in Canadian dollars, otherwise stated. Third quarter and year-to-date highlights. Revenue was $6 million, up 26%, compared to $4.8 million in the third quarter of 2020. Revenue year-to-date was $17.3 million, up 30%, compared to $13 million last year. Subscription services revenues $5.3 up of $3 million, up 18%, compared to $4.5 million a year ago. Subscription services revenue year-to-date $15.3, up 26% versus a year ago. EBITDA adjusted was a gain of $661,000 compared to a loss of $130,000 in last year's third quarter. Cash generated from operations was $395,000 compared to $134,000. Cash in equivalents and short-term investments were $7 million at the end of the quarter versus $7.5 million the year before. On September 13th, 2021, the company entered into a definitive arrangement agreement with Spire Global, under which Spire will acquire 100% of the company's common shares for $204 million Canadian in cash and equity. Pursuant to the transaction, holders of Exact Earth common shares will receive $250 in cash and 1/10 of a share of Spire for each Exact Earth common share held. Spire shares are listed for trading on the New York Stock Exchange under the symbol SPIR. Based on the 10-day volume weighted average price of Spire shares on the New York Exchange on September the 13th, the total consideration per share is $3.90 and represents a premium of 171% to the company's 10-day average of 144. Okay, so we know that Spire is buying a publicly traded company trading in Canada for cash and stock, mostly cash, very little stock. The transaction is subject to shareholder applicable regulatory approvals and customary closing conditions. Companies have agreed in both cases to go with this deal. The directors, officers, and certain shareholders of Exact Earth collectively hold about 60% of the outstanding stock, have entered into voting support agreements under which they have agreed to support and vote in favor of this transaction. The transaction is expected to close in the fourth quarter of calendar 2021 or the first quarter of calendar 2022. Additional details on the transaction can be found in the joint press release. There you go. So they're both happy to do this move. This adds a positive cash flowing money-making company into Spire's existing scenario here, and so they will both increase from here. All right, very, very good. So there's the basic announcement right there. Spire at 9.11 down 17 cents is not taking off with this news because it is a cash outlay, but very little stock is being issued out. I like the deal. I think this is great. I think Spire should do more of this kind of stuff. In my opinion, if Spire needed cash to do this deal, if they didn't have it on hand, they could easily have brought it in through their existing investment network that created the company in the first place, through their PIPE financing. But I think the PIPE financing already is giving them enough money. I think they're sitting on $300 or $400 million in cash. This is only 160 odd of it. So not a problem for this company. So the stock, I hope, will do much better because of it. I like the move, and I congratulate both companies on a job. I think it'll be well received, but we'll have to wait over time how this works out. It's going to take obviously 3 to 6 months to close this deal. Okay. Man, John says, man, I wish I sold my Gamestop options yesterday. GameStop, $200 a share right now, down $3. I give eggs to towns local that don't have much money. Let's see. Is it worth paying Yahoo Finance the $350 for their membership, or do you recommend a different avenue of research? Anybody have an idea on that? Let's see. Fenneville, Cloak, aim for Jan 21, shorter time, but you could get 880. Fenneville, John, seems like you and I are the only ones who are chasing the sun weekly. I have 250 for 924. OAMC's taking a little dive. AMC right now is down $1.49 to 50.20 right now. 22.4 million traded. We're off 12 cents on Rocket Lab, off 13 on SoFi. I'm watching this broadcast about 20 minutes delayed. Bruce, I saw that you were missing cable TV. You and Jen should look into YouTube TV. You can watch it anywhere you travel on all your devices. Thank you for that. Fenneville area, yeah, I wouldn't join any services out there. Just read due diligence on Reddit, Wall Street Bets, and Superstonk. GameStop is enough. Playing along with the options, pretty much gamble for me. Cloaked, Fennville, okay, after thinking about that, not a terrible idea to get 8 or 100 upfront for Rocket Lab and acquire the stock for 11 or 12. Seems like a win-win. There you go. Fenneville, thumbs. I wrote 7 contracts yesterday, committed 14 grand, but I got $6,160 cash back against my 14,000. Nice move. Buying SBIR, am I wrong? Drops, too late, bought SBIR. Davey, thank you. Credit Savage for my hat is off to you. Yes, Bruce, it was a January 21st, $20 strike, and the ask was up around 880 after the stock dropped. There you go. Thank you, Cesaria. Nice, Fennville, Sun Gears ago. DraftKing, ISEE ticker. Fennville, nice, Sun Gears. Please tell me more. There you have it. So, yeah, I think it's a great move. I think if you're writing put contracts on Rocket Lab for January 2021, and you're getting paid almost $9 a contract, $900 for a 100 share contract, that's $9 a share to be given to you up front if you commit to buying Rocket Lab at $20 a share until January 2022. It's a 4-month commitment, $9 a share. To put up $2,000, you get 9, 45% on your money. If the shares are sitting at $18 by January, the contract will only be worth $2. You sold them for 9, you can buy them back for 2 and keep 7 for yourself. And the stock only went up $3 a share from 15 to 18, yet you made $7 a share. Is that a good deal? I think so. I like this arrangement. Not bad at all. Let's see. John, Fennville, I got 2 $300 Friday calls. Yesterday was $150, now $50. John, thank you, Uncle B, for covering this SBIR news. I appreciate it. Right on. Yeah, I like it. I like the deal. I like deals like this. This is a company, Spire. It's getting larger. This is one way to do it. I expect 23andMe to do this. I expect Matterport to be doing this. I expect SoFi will continue to do this. Rocket Lab will do this. SmartRent will do this. Spire, of course, ATIP, Sextera. They will all grow by acquisition. They will grow by acquisition. They have the ability to raise cash, cut deals, and close acquisitions. I think they'll do very well by it. So we'll see. China's real estate market is starting to crumble. Stand by for shockwaves. I agree with that. I think China's real estate market is way over leveraged, and I think there's problems there. Drops, laugh a lot, but Spire and up $100 in a minute. Love it. There you go. Right on. Spire. Right now, $9.27, down a penny. How about that? Draft King, what stock does Jen like? What stock does Jen? I don't know if we're going to get any recommendations from Jen. That's not her job. Bill, yeah, read that this morning. Riots in China at major banks for real estate market crash. Yeah, I think there's issues in China that are just under the surface. They're nervous. Bill, I would stay far away from China stuff right now. Any China stuff, I agree with that. Bill, thinking about Evergrande, yeah, I would stay away from China. Anything right now. Yikes, Rob. Yes, he says. Right, exactly. Yeah, scary. We're down 15 cents on Rocket Lab. We're up 11. 11 on SoFi. We're down only 89 cents on Gamestop. 202.50. Matterport down 1 penny to 18.19 a share. 23andMe up 20. Smart Rent up 33 to 12.76. IBM still down $1.25. The Dow down 204 points. The low of the day 34,641. We're at 34,670. 29 points ahead of the low of the day, but not very reassuring at the moment. Still, Microsoft up $3. Apple up 9 cents. They're show and tell us today. Tesla up $4 a share. That's what we're at right here, right now. Unbelievable. As we're watching these markets. Oh, let's see what's going to happen here. What are we going to be watching here? The Dow now down 205. S&P down 14. NASDAQ down 19 points right now on the NASDAQ. There you have it. Someone just getting a call. Someone has to go to another room. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. Yep. A drop is saying, Bill, China is 2,000% leveraged on their banks. They spend 250% of their GDP on, and their debt is worse than the USA. They're going to have to start a conflict to bail themselves out. Well, let's see what happens. Bruce, when should I return my VHS? When should I do that? Yes, indeed. We did pack. We packed a DVD player. I'm trying to remember if we packed a VHS player. I don't think we did. I don't think we own one anymore. JG, hey, Uncle Bruce, would you recommend buying options on Apple due to show and tell today? Well, I like Apple, period. I just like it. The lower the stock goes, the more I like it. But I would be buying call options into next summer. Way up. Like, that's the only way I would buy call options on Apple. I'd like to go way out. If you can afford in the money contracts, you're better off. But the problem with that is you might have to put up $3,000 or $5,000 for a contract to get a decent priced contract with not too much of a premium. But on the other hand, if you buy 160s for next year, you might pay much less per contract and get many more of them, giving you leverage. So there's this proverbial, what do I do with this investment? Do I buy out of the money calls on Apple to get the leverage, or do I buy in the money calls with a lower premium? So if the stock goes up $5, my contract goes up $4.50, $4.25. I get $4.25 of the $5. Rather than the stock goes up $1 and I only go up 15 cents on a contract because I'm so far out of the money. There's this back and forth thing you got to wonder about. Anyway, Drops Family says China owns 4 of the 5 largest banks. Joe, Spire just bought Earth. That should move the price. We would have thought so, but it hasn't. It's at $9.28 right now, still unchanged. Joe, and let's hope. We shall see. Maybe as the word comes out, gets out, filters out, over time it'll be accepted. But I kind of suspect that Spire will be buying other companies as well, which I don't mind. I would prefer, though, that Spire try to buy private companies if there are any to get. But I don't know if there are any to get, because public companies go at a premium and it might be a bit high. Just saying. Well, anyway, there it is. We'll see what's going on here. Rob is saying Apple April 22 150s are going for $12.50. Yeah, that's expensive. That's too expensive. I wouldn't want to be paying that kind of price. This is why even 160s are probably still $8 or $7. They're very expensive, and I don't know if that's worth your while either. This is the catch-22 of the entire deal with Apple. But, that shows you how much Apple is loved and what the street is expecting Apple will do. Now, maybe the way to do this is to write a put against Apple. Maybe you should write an out-of-the-money put contract, like a 140, good for January. I don't know what kind of premium you'd get. That might be the way to go. And see if you can make money on the premium, right? Bill Coyne, government statistics, SS checks, Medicare address, tax address show people are not moving in record numbers to North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas. Historic records. It's lower now than the past. real estate bubble. Interesting stuff. Interesting. Well, time will tell. January 150s are 920, still a lot. Jeez, yes. Larry, you get the onion. Rob, 140 put for for January is only $5. There's only a $5 premium if you write a 140. So you might have to write a 150. Theoretically, if you write a 160, you're in the money, right, on Apple. So you're writing an in the money contract plus whatever premium you can get. And if you can get, let's say, $15, $18, or $20 for a 160 put for January, you're committing to pay 140 for the stock. That might be the way to go. Yeah, I don't know. 140 put, only $5. Bill, well, I mean the Cowboys are winners, so drops. Nice cowgirls laughing out loud. Come on, Bill. Come on, man. Yeah, I don't know. Hard to say on Apple. Let me take a peek here if I can. Let me do that up here a little quicker. Maybe quicker. Maybe it won't be quicker. Let's see here. Right. Spire still at 920, down 8 cents. Hang on a sec. We're down 190 on the Dow, by the way, still. Apple 149.68, up 12 cents on the day. And we're down 22 on Rocket Lab 1518. Okay, on Apple, here we go. Let's see. If we wanted to do an option, write a put option on Apple, what would we be doing here? Let's take a look if we can get this to refresh. Here we go. Okay, Apple January 2022. Okay, so a 160 would bring in about 15 something dollars. So you would be paying a 145. So you're only getting a $4 premium on an Apple put, even in the money as it is. The 150s would bring in about 950 a piece. So you'd be paying 140, 150 for the stock. That might be the way to go, is to write a 150 put contract against Apple right at the money. The shares go up to 160. Those contracts will be worthless, obviously, but you have to wait till January to fully appreciate the gain. But obviously, if the shares were to go up, $5 a share from here, those puts would go down to about the $7.25 mark. If the shares were to go up $10 from here, the puts would be worth around $5.25. You'd be up about 40% on your right. But it's not a big premium because, again, the street is thinking what you're thinking and what I'm thinking. We're all thinking positive thoughts on Apple. We're just thinking good thoughts. We're thinking higher prices on the stock for Apple, and so there's not a lot of serious premium to be had on put premiums. That's the thing about Apple. Interestingly, there. Yeah. Fascinating, Captain. Fascinating. Looks like GameStop has gone green. 203, 204.62. We're up $1.22. We've had a nice move here from about the 195 range around 10:30. Now at 9, so 11:12. So in 40 minutes, we've gone from 195 now to 204, up $9.50. Smart little move up. A little move up, backed off, and now it's up, definitely up. 204.51. Very nice. This, of course, gives you the opportunity to look at possibly writing a call contract sometime today. If the shares want to reach this 210 level, you might want to look at writing 210s or 215s or 220s for this Friday. One never knows. Or next Friday. One might take advantage of that. You never know. Thank you so much coming up here. Love it. All right. Never a dull moment in this world. Man, oh man. Okay, where am I here now? I'm waiting for thumbs up. 411. Thank you, everybody. 411 thumbs ups. I appreciate that. You're helping out this channel. We appreciate it. That's beautiful. And let's see what else is going on here. Here we go. Marcus, hey, Uncle Bruce is joining in. Why are we dropping with GameStop? Any info? Highly appreciated. We're not dropping now. Bill, basically, the huge increase in home prices is all speculation, not based on fundamentals. GameStop right now is up 56 cents, holding on to a bit of gain. And nice drops, Family Garden. Come on, fam. Give me those eggs. Rob, New York bans the sale of gas-powered cars by 2035. Maybe I'll be in Texas soon. I'm moving. Larry, sorry, not following in meetings today. Nice drops, Family Garden. If you're Prego, I want my dollars. Nice, Larry. Just messing with you. Rob, GameStop just went green, 204. Andy, looks like VIS is doing a little something here. Don't forget, GameStop has PS5s in stock for Pro members right now. Cloak, got to grab some food before I head off to bed. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you, as always, Uncle Bruce. Have a good break. Thank you, buddy. Nice. I do think Greg is milking it in his wheelchair. Fenville, Cloak, see you later. You're Fenville. Nah, I work nights. Talk to some friends in Oklahoma. Real estate really starting to open up right now. Interesting. Rocket Lab down only a nickel now, coming back on here at 15.35. SoFi still up 14 at 15.15. GameStop holding a 1 penny gain right now, 203.42. Matterport up 17 cents to 18.37. ME up 31 to 8.44. Smart ran up 27 to 12.71. Spire 9.38 up a dime now. ATIP down 8 cents. Xterra down 43 at the moment. We've got IBM down $1.22. The Dow down 185 right at the moment. That's what we're at here on this market, kids, as we are grinding it out on the morning here, the first 3 hours. Make sure to join me this afternoon at 3 o'clock with the last hour of the day. I'll be here for that and a bit of the aftermarket. Thank you, all of you who are supporting this channel. Those of you who are visiting my website, stockmarketswithbruce.ca. Thank you for visiting the website, and thank you those of you who are picking up the classes. Love it. Those of you picking up the lessons on the website, thank you very much. Stockmarkets.ca. Thank you, everybody. Do appreciate your support. Hope you're learning about how to write call options, put options, spreads, aggressive option strategies, and all kinds of psychological warfare ideas. I hope you're enjoying those classes, and they're working for you. I'm sure for some of you they are. You tell me they are. Thank you. We're only down 4 cents on Rocket Lab now at 15.36. We're still down 17 on SoFi. So we're up 17 on SoFi at 15.18. We're up 21 cents on GameStop at 203.77. Just up 37 cents on the day. Why invest in Microsoft when my computer restarts every second? I don't know, my friend. I don't understand. Maybe anticipation that you're going to buy something new from Microsoft, directly or indirectly, whether you like it or not. Studying options, but keeping it simple until I got the handle on it. There you have it. Doing the best I can with that too. And congratulations for those of you who are scoring some option premiums by writing call options. I'm very, very happy for you. Proud of you. And hopeful that it'll just keep right on going. Yes, indeed. Matterport's up. ME is up. Smart Rent is up. Spire is up. That's good to see. Vanik is up. Microsoft is up. Apple is up. Tesla is up. We've got Goldman Sachs down 248. We were up this morning, but we're not up anymore. Royal Caribbean down 78. It's 83.06. Still very high, but definitely in put buy territory as far as I'm concerned. That's what I think. Anyway, there you have it. Just popped in to give you a solid thumbs up, says Austin. Thanks, man. Waiting for SoFi to do something, just something. Yes, me too. We're up 16 cents to 15.17. Would like a lot more than that. I've never had issues like that with Microsoft PCs, and I'm in tech. Laughing out loud. Nice. Reminds me of Facebook, like Bill. ATIP is down, says Fanville. Nice, says BLOL. Drops go to, yeah, I use Linux. I'm used to a Linux server. Very interesting. Well, there you have it, guys. This is the market today. We're battling along here, trying to fight the war and get more wins than losses every day, trying to keep the wins from the losses. Doing the best we can with what little we have. Thank you, everybody, so much for your support today. Those of you who become members, thank you. Those of you who are renewing your membership, thank you. Some of you are about to get a new bagel color this week. New bagel colors, I think, are going to be issued. Some of you are going to become 6 and 7 month members now, and you're going to be starting to get new bagel colors. So I'm looking forward to that. Hope you enjoy it. Those of you who've been members since March, I do thank you for your loyalty to this channel. It's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Anyway, there it is. Folks are trying to solve computer problems here on the show, which is all good stuff. All right, we've got the big markets here. The Dow down 194. We have S&P down 12. NASDAQ down 4. And we're trying to see what kind of headlines we see here. Not a lot in new stuff. Okay. Universal Music will start trading with nearly 40 billion in market cap. Amazing. What else is there? No, not much to tell you about on the big headlines today. The inflation data was supposed to be concerning, wasn't. Didn't help the market anyway, though. We had a 100-point gain, but now we're down 185 on the Dow. So we're now down 6 of 7 days. 6 of the last 7 days we have a downtick on the Dow. The question is, will it hold this level of negativity, or will it come on as the afternoon comes around? We'll have to wait and see for that. Well, join me at 3 o'clock this afternoon for the last hour of trading. We'll stay on top of this and see what's going on. Do you know any good investing jokes? Not at the moment. I'm really tired. Credit average, Bargoon, City Day. Let's all use those puts, ladies and gents. Let's see. Thank you, says Nice. We're down 15 on Rocket Lab. We're up 16 on SoFi. Rocket Lab 15.25, SoFi 15.17. Matterport, that used to be a $15 stock, is $18.31. Now, if Rocket Lab, SoFi, and Matterport were all at $18.31, we'd all be happier, of course, and it would be love to then see who gets to 20 first. But we need these two, Rocket Lab and SoFi, to get going, catch up to Matterport. I'd appreciate it. We're up 35 cents on 23andMe to 848. That's an improvement. We're at about the high of the day right now on 363,000 shares. It's nice to see that up here. It's been a long time coming. Spire still up a dime. Smart ran up 27 cents. Whew. There you have it, kids. There it is. Folks, I'm going to cut it off right here. I'm having trouble keeping my eyes open. I got to get a nap in here and power up again for my 3 o'clock show. Thank you, all of you, for your following of this channel, your loyalty and support. I appreciate it like you cannot imagine. Looking forward to seeing you this afternoon for our next run here as we get ready to fire up the final hour of trading. And we'll kind of go from there. I tell you, today, I'm dreading today. I have to go to the dentist this afternoon. Just for a look-see. Yeah. You know what's going to happen this afternoon at the dentist office after I leave? Yeah, the dentist is going to go, ooh, I'm going to be able to go on that vacay finally. Uncle Bruce just came in here. He's got to get his smile fixed up. Oh, it's going to be good. I dread the thought. But it has to be done, kids. I have to go and get looked after. That's one of the tough things about being a creator on YouTube. You got to have that $1 million smile, you know. Thank you all for catching up with me today. Thank you for all your kind words, your support. Jen and I love you. We'll see you at 3 o'clock this afternoon for the last hour of trading. Let's see what this market does for us. Hopefully we get a real good barn burner going, and you guys will just get rich, and away we go. Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you a little later. Thank you so much. Thank you. Be strong. Film it, Uncle Bruce. I want to see you scream. No, I'm not doing it. No. Have a great one. Okay, guys. Talk to you later. Bye for now.